All right, lads, before we start this week's episode, I'm here to tell you about our latest sponsor, CoinCorner.com. Now, they are one of the longest-running exchanges for cryptocurrency in Europe, and they're one of the best ways to buy and sell Bitcoin here in the UK. If you don't know what Bitcoin is, it's the #1 cryptocurrency on the planet. It's been around for over a decade, and it's going mainstream. It's in the news every day. Celebrities like Tom Brady are tweeting about it. El Salvador's made it legal tender. If you want to get involved in the cryptocurrency game, the best way, in our opinion, to do that is to go to coincorner.com/wordpod. You go there, they know we've sent you. You're getting in the cryptocurrency game. They know we've sent you. Everyone's winning. You're helping our sponsors. They're helping us. That's how the pod game works, okay? That's what we want you to do. Now, we've got to say this. When you invest in cryptocurrency, it's like stocks and shares. Your capital is at risk. Don't invest anything you can't afford to lose. Be safe. Don't be a fucking dickhead. Now, let's get back to the pod. What's happening, guys? Just before we start this week's episode, I want to let you know, if you love this podcast and you want more of it, you can get an extra episode every single week exclusively on patreon.com/haveawordpod. If you don't know what Patreon is, it's basically a way for you to financially support this podcast whilst also getting some benefits for yourself in return. You can sign up for £3 a month, £5 a month, £10 a month, and obviously the more money you give, the more benefits you get. But even if you just sign up for that £3 a month, which is the price of a fancy coffee or a pint in a shit boozer, you get an extra episode every single week, exclusive. No one else gets to see it apart from the Patreons. And you also get 24 to 48 hours early access to the public episodes as well. That's what you get. And on top of all of that, you get access to the entire back catalogue of the Patreon episodes. We've been doing that for like a year now. There's loads of content there. There's also the 2 lockdown lock-ins we did in this room where we got dead drunk. They only go on Patreon. The ones we do in the future of them will only go on Patreon. If you support us, you get shitloads of content for us, and you can only get it at patreon.com/haveawordpod. Go sign up now. Pause it here, sign up, and then come back to this episode. It's going to be a belter. You all right?
Yeah. Yeah, good.
Yeah. Went to get my ears cleaned this morning.
Oh, yeah. You told us about that on the Patreon.
She charged me 49 quid to not clean my ears.
What? Why do you keep getting mugged?
So my ears don't need cleaning. There's other problems. And she charged me 49 quid to tell me that.
Clean as a fucking whistle. I said clean as a whistle!
What was it, like a private doctor?
It was the Liverpool Hearing Centre
on
Rodney Street.
Yeah, private doctors.
It's not NHS then, no.
No.
Right.
No.
I thought I had dead waxy
Not doctors,
ears.
though. I was being a dick. They're definitely not doctors, are they?
No.
No.
No, she knows what she's doing, like.
Oh, well, she's a doctor, though. Are you a doctor?
She surely is.
Diploma.
ENT doctor, surely.
What?
Surely an ENT doctor.
I don't know. I didn't even ask.
She look at your throat.
An ear, nose, and throat specialist.
No, she just looked
He's
at me.
working at the ear shop in town.
It's not the
Not a
ear
shop.
shop.
What's
It's
it
not
called?
like going to get your phone screen fixed.
Is it not?
I want this woman to be no more. No, it's a proper thing. It's the Liverpool Hearing Centre. It's on Rodney Street, which is like private medical street in Liverpool.
Oh, okay. I thought it was one of them.
Well, like a beautician.
Yeah, I thought it was like an ear specialist.
It is an ear specialist, but like a good one.
Yeah, I thought it was like we'll wax them, we'll get the wax out, we'll take the hairs
I
off.
wasn't getting a Brazilian in my ears.
I know.
No.
You have got hairy ears, though. You need to sort that out.
So
You could use the weed whacker by Manscaped using the code WORD20.
could, yeah. Advert coming later.
With all your coin number. You could use tickets for Dan Nightingale's talk. No, so go on.
I assumed I had dead waxy ears because it's been when I got to the plane to Croatia. You know, do you ever get airplane here?
When I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah, so I got it bad, and then when I jumped off the boat into the sea,
You say the plane. You talk about planes when I jumped off. You're going to say the plane.
another boat jumped off the boat into
Your
the
ears
sea.
have really got to hurt to jump off the plane, haven't you? Add some love, suck a boiled sweet, don't open that door. It's hurting!
It's something I never thought about. I never understood, by the way. And we'll get back to my ears in a minute. You know the way they say when you're on a plane, you can't open the doors because it'll cause problems. Mm-hmm. But then when you do a parachute jump, you can. So what was different? Think about it.
Altitude.
Plane Illuminati, mate.
Those planes that you... this is my guess. I'm not an expert. But the parachute jumpers, I think the plane's going quite slowly. So it's lower and slower. So it's not as much there's a hatch open so you can jump out. If you're doing 600 miles an hour at 30,000 feet.
So when you do a parachute
you
jump,
open the
they're not doing
door
700 miles an hour.
and everyone gets sucked.
Because you get sucked into the engine and blow off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
How fast are they going? Like 30?
I think yeah. It's like,
700 mile an hour
it's like if you had to roll out of a car. I'm going to try and make this analogy stick. I've already lost confidence. But if I said to you, like, right, I've got to roll out of your Kia Sportage today. Got to happen.
Yeah.
You'd be like, right, we'll go slowly. And it's doable, isn't it? The car's still moving, I'm rolling out. Yeah. But if I think the equivalent is up there where like your Ryanair's going at full height, it would be like trying to do it at 80 miles an hour off a motorway. I mean, in theory, you could get out and roll. I just don't think it'd end well. I think I might be wrong.
Is it also like atmosphere, like it's too thin to breathe and stuff like that, so that causes issues? And maybe like a vacuum because you get sucked out because of the speed.
No, but that fella jumped from space, didn't he, and landed on his feet?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't wearing his tracksuit, was he? He wasn't wearing his holiday trackies. He was wearing a fucking Nancy, I'm a spaceman suit. A Red Bull spaceman.
Didn't he go up on a balloon?
I love how in your head he's slightly R-worded and he jumped from space and landed on his feet.
I'm a spaceman.
I'm a spaceman. He's an astronaut, like an actual astronaut.
He's not a fucking astronaut.
He jumped out of space.
He went up in a balloon and then he fell off. Impressively. Technical difficulty. You can't miss Earth, can you? You can't miss.
You can't. Asteroids do all the time.
No, but he can't miss. It's not like
we'd all be dead.
Right. Thank God we've got a trained astronaut for this. Otherwise, he might just like, oh, fucking hell.
That's the only thing that can go wrong. Missing Earth. Jumping off to space.
He could have landed
was that guy an astronaut? Was he just some dickhead Red Bull stunt guy?
I think he was an astronaut.
I think he won on a can. He won the chance to do it.
Yeah.
He can jump out of space and he won.
Second place was a pencil sharpener with the Angry Birds on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collaboration.
I'm not having him as an astronaut. He's just a bell
What's
end.
his name? Was it Felix something? Felix Baumgartner, was it?
You think it was dead cool the way he just fucking walked it off though? Like I can't like jump off like 3 stairs and land on my feet.
128,000 feet.
He's a skydiver,
He's
a
an
daredevil,
Australian
and a
daredevil.
base jumper. Not an astronaut.
He is though because he went to space.
No,
as soon as you go to space, you're an astronaut.
He is not a proper astronaut. That's like saying if I break into a school and stand in front of a class, I'm a fucking teacher.
He's more of an astronaut than Neil Armstrong, and I'll die on this hill. He jumped from space. Neil Armstrong.
Neil astronaut. He was born for that job, wasn't he?
Okay, Felix Skydiver is more of an astronaut than John Astronaut.
Look at the curvature of the Earth there.
He did something dead sick. What did Neil Armstrong do? Went for a walk, if he even went.
That pissed me off. You rat.
There's loads of...
Why'd that piss you off?
Ever talk about Neil Armstrong
That's
like
a big
that?
conspiracy,
Or
though.
Lance Armstrong.
That's a big conspiracy.
Is it that they didn't land on the moon?
Yeah.
Great. Well, that'll be on another podcast that you do.
Why is the flag waving? There's no wind on the moon.
He was one of the first interplanetary space flag nonces.
Like, what did he do? It's not impressive, is it? You're saying what the other guy did wasn't impressive. He got on what is essentially a massive bus, got off and had to walk around the fucking local shopping centre, realised everything was closed and came back. He didn't fly the fucking shuttle. He's just a gobshite who got a lift.
Yeah. He did it in 1969 when I don't think the technology was up to much.
Do you reckon he paid petrol?
Do you know what I mean? I don't even think they'd invented plastic carrier bags at
But he didn't do anything,
they were on
did
the
he?
moon.
He didn't do anything. He's like the Phil Neville of going to space.
Yeah.
Got the medal, but did fuck all.
Was he not even the pilot? He wasn't the pilot. He was just the walking guy.
Yeah. So why is he revered?
Who was the pilot? Buzz.
No, that was just another. That was just his mate.
That was his mate.
That was just his mate.
Do you want to come, lad?
Yeah. Because they were the first to do it, weren't they?
Well, who flew it then?
Time when
Probably the other guy in the picture whose name you don't know.
Mini Driver.
He's the one you should know.
What? Because you know he drove it.
Whoever flew it.
What was it? What was the Apollo? 12? 11? 10? All right.
Apollo 11 was launched. Commander
Neil Armstrong flew it.
No, yeah. Commander Neil Armstrong, Commander Module Pilot Michael Collins. I've never heard that name before, and he's the pilot.
Pilot Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah. I've heard Buzz Aldrin. I've heard fucking Neil. Mickey Collins.
Mickey Collins.
Yeah, he had to stay in the car just in case an alien tried to nick it.
Yeah, there's hazards on, so he couldn't get a parking ticket.
Yeah. If anyone asks us to move
Not
it,
park.
just go around the block. I don't know what the parking restrictions are on the moon. I mean, the first to get to the moon, and they did it fucking years ago.
They haven't been back since.
They hadn't worked out how to make telephones mobile, and these cunts are on the moon. And then some bellend recently just goes up quite high and then has a jump. I mean, not that it wasn't, but it's not a fucking astronaut.
So what makes him an astronaut? What makes Neil Armstrong an astronaut? What makes him an astronaut compared to the guy who jumped from space?
Well,
I mean,
he was in a spaceship. He flew to a moon, got off, and walked around the moon. And then the really difficult thing was to get off the moon and home, wasn't it?
But he didn't do that.
He did. He did, though, didn't he?
He sat there while Michael did it.
Adam, he fucking went.
Yeah.
He literally went on the trip. You're like, he did fuck all. He was in the back eating sweets. He did jack shit. He didn't even fucking pay for petrol. He did none. He just walked. I can fucking walk. Am I a fucking astronaut? He went to the fucking moon, you massive tit.
he got plane here
To be
as well.
fair, fucking Felix Nonce-Gardner, yeah, all right. It's not nothing.
Nance Garden.
But he's not, he just had a fucking...
He jumped out of space. It's fucking sick.
Yeah, it is pretty sick.
Honestly, we were talking about Adam's ears, and I don't know the path he took.
Plane here.
Oh, yeah.
Altitude. Moon.
Would you, before we go to your ears, I say, would you do a parachute jump?
No. I'd do what he did.
What?
It doesn't seem as scary, and I don't know why.
What are we on about?
I don't know whether it's the suit or whatever, but
Would you do a parachute jump dressed as a spaceman? Generally, we want to go to Krakow next year on a bit of a lads' weekender, and I think they sound so fucking dodgy in Poland. People keep going. I don't know if you've asked people, like, what's Krakow like, because we're thinking about going. All the lads that I know have gone, it's fucking great. Oh my God, it's great. It's so good. There's something going on with Krakow, but everyone keeps going, the guns. You can go and shoot guns.
Yeah.
I reckon they've probably taken a stag do on a parachute jump.
Yeah, we got some fucking planes. You go up, jump out, gravity is easy. You dress as spaceman.
good job he was there to
You
explain
dress as
how parachute jump works.
you dress as Woody from Toy Story.
Oh, I'll do that.
Yeah, stag do is good.
Do you mean Buzz from Toy Story?
No, I was doing the different characters.
Oh, you're flipping it?
No, I was...
No, you're Buzz and I'm Woody.
Oh. I get it. Yeah, okay.
That's what
I'd do a skydive if I woke up and I'm sat in the gap,
Sat in the gap.
like the hatch, and I'm about to go, and I can't. I think the scary bit is like,
So if someone date raped you,
Yeah.
but didn't rape you,
Or
something
dead
else.
and brown, yeah.
they put you on a plane.
yeah, that'd be fine, because I'm like, oh, it's happened now. And I don't think that'd be the scary bit. I think the scary bit's being in the plane going,
You want to be like a tired Mr. T. I don't know.
yeah.
So you'd wake up, you just...
But I know it's happening.
Right, you wake up and you go, oh, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? Why am I in a plane? Why have I got a parachute on? I'm here now.
No, I know what's happening,
I think you'd be fuming, mate.
but they put me a kip until I get there.
It's making me itchy.
Because the scary
Thought
bit
of
is
it.
being
I
in the
wouldn't do
plane
it.
and fucking going, oh, I'm about to jump out of a plane. If it just happens, bam.
I don't like being on a plane.
But you'd be on a space balloon.
No, I wouldn't do either. Like, now that I've thought about it, not into it.
No.
I don't like being in what is perceived to be like the safest form of travel. I don't like it. So I'm not jumping off it. Because all I'm scared about when I'm in the air is not being in the air anymore. And that would be volunteering to not being in the air anymore.
Would you do something if some mental got up on the flight over to Croatia and was like, I need to go! I need to get out! Would you do
I'm just fucking
something?
at it.
You'd knock them out,
Yeah,
wouldn't you?
would you?
Yeah. I'd be like, sit down.
Lad.
Hey, sit down.
Yeah.
He's literally thrown off some fucking Croatian flight attendants and you're in one of the seats, we know with the extra leg room because you're spending that Patreon money.
Yeah.
Would you fucking do
Well,
something?
he's trying to get the door open,
Yeah.
which would kill everyone on board.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd punch his head in. Because either way, I'm dead. Like, if I lose the fight, okay, I'm dead. But I'm going to die anyway because he's about to open the plane door. And as we've already discussed, at such a speed, that's a problem.
Would you sit next to the plane door and be the... Because you
I have done a few times. I like the leg room.
being the guardian.
I have booked the extra leg
I'm
room
not
a few
scared of
times.
opening doors.
You're
I'm
not scared
scared-
you'd want to do it, though, like when you cross a bridge with your phone.
Yeah, but I'm like...
You mean that?
When you
That
throw your
urge?
phone off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the intrusive thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get them all the time. But I would get them no matter what seat I'm in. I'm looking over at the door sometimes. I can run over and fucking open that. It doesn't matter where I am.
Do you know, I've booked the leg room before.
I'm never
in,
flying with you again.
in front of the fire exit, the whatever it's called. The
Fire exit.
what's it called?
Don't use the main exit. It's
called
on
the-
fire.
The door.
The
And
emergency
I
exit.
feel like when you see tall people walk past and like look at my stubby little legs, they're like, cunt. It's
Why?
'cause I am 5'8"
Yeah, but you've
and
paid the
I've got
extra
short
£8.
legs.
Fuck them.
Do you remember Anne Campbell's mate's CV? Do you remember that? What he did to her?
Yeah.
His mate was doing his CV in school and went to the toilet. And like instead of putting like, oh, fuck, tits, whatever, and he's obviously noticed, just in between he put, I am responsible enough to sit by the emergency exit on the bus. And he didn't notice on his CV for like 6 months.
Everywhere.
You see, if you're gonna, that's basically a frape, isn't it? That's basically a Facebook.
But like,
yeah.
it's a proper smart one.
But if you just keep it subtle,
Yeah.
if you don't, oh, fucking bum goats
Yeah.
in that voice. I want to see you on a plane so much.
Well, we got
Like, I'm not that bad. Like, the worst I ever was when we came back from Berlin.
That was choppy though.
But you, on the plane, Carl was like, it's fine. It's like this all the time. And then when we landed, he was like, that is the worst turbulence I've ever had landing. So
Yeah. It was like
if you can
that.
put up with that.
And then boom,
I want to film that and put it on Patreon. My head is ticking with the Patreon exclusive stuff. If you know an athletics club that we can have access to on a weekday for 2 or 3 hours, we put the call out on social media and I was a bit disappointed. We found a cricket club. I need an athletics club. I need
somewhere with a
access.
triple jump pit.
Yeah. So haveawordpod@gmail.com for all your questions, any advice you want from us, all your have a words, haveawordpod@gmail.com. But really hook us up with an athletics club because I want to get the kit. I want to put it on Patreon as an exclusive and I want to see him do the triple jump and take it seriously. I would love to do a parachute jump and put it on Patreon. Oh.
But like filming me on the plane wouldn't be good content because I'm just quiet. I just go quiet.
You have the internal panic attack.
Yeah.
you shouting at me, didn't you? Before we took off, I said something.
Where were you going?
We were flying from Liverpool, Manchester,
Manchester.
to Berlin, and it was his first flight in since he was a kid. And I was trying to take the piss, like, oh, this plane looks broke. And there was no human. He went, fucking shut up.
Yeah.
Remember the Snapchats I sent you?
Yeah.
Well, because
Of plane
well,
crashes.
if he has a panic attack and they see it, they can just ask you to leave the flight and go, look, you're not
Yeah, but I only really have it once we've took off.
right.
Can't ask you to leave it. Did I tell you about the woman last week who told me to put my mask on?
Yeah, that always goes down well.
I went, I'm sorry, love, I'm exempt. And I showed her my thing. And she went, have you got a letter from your doctor? And I went, no. And she went, well, I'm going to have to ask you to put your mask on then. And I went, well, I haven't got one. And she went, oh, but it is EasyJet policy for you to put a mask on. And I was like, we are already in the sky. So, what do you want to do?
Get off.
She never had a mask to give me. And I didn't have one because I never have one because...
I feel like EasyJet have really missed a trick there. Oh, we have EasyJet masks. They're €13. Look at you.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. That.
Anyway, when's
How's
your
your
ears
ears?
clean?
How's your ears? Yeah.
How long's that?
17 minutes.
Oh, that was vintage. Part of the fun of it is I know people are like, sorry, Adam's trying to tell us about the ears. I'm all.
So basically, there's a problem with me middle ear. What are you doing?
I'm playing the music.
Yeah, my middle ear might have a problem. So she did a test, a hearing test. She puts headphones on to test your main ear.
She puts headphones on.
Oh, she puts them on you.
Oh.
So she puts headphones on
I can hear fine.
and she gives you this little clicker. And every time you hear any sort of beep in either ear, you press the beeper And it's testing to see which ones you eat and which ones you don't, obviously. And
Like
then,
truffs.
then the second time, she tests your brain here. So she puts like headphones on and it goes like here. And that tests like how your brain's working. And she said your brain's sound, boss brain, but your ear's a bit fucked. Which means there's a problem with your...
Verbatim, that's how she said it.
No, I'm paraphrasing.
Your brain is fucking quality.
Top.
It's a fucking boss brain, lad. I am Dr. Pepper Sweet. Oh, boss brain. Your fucking ears are dynamite, lad. But that knob needs a good sucking.
There's
Patreon.com/.
Patreon. Yeah, sorry. I forgot that was on a Patreon. Everyone's like, what the fuck is Dan just said?
there's I think there's tubes here that go down here. And the part of your ear, so it's something fallopian tubes or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. They go from your nose. Your fallopian tubes go from your nose to your ear.
Fallopian's vagina stuff, innit?
Yeah.
It's something else, but she called it me middle ear. And basically,
She called it your face cunt.
Yeah, she said I need to take sinus relief, antihistamines, and then go to an ear specialist, which I thought she was. But basically, at the minute, this ear just sounds a little bit... It sounds like I've got like a bit of paper in my ear. You know, just like dulling it a bit. But it goes away if I do this. So if you talk to me now, it sounds normal.
You all right? Wob, 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 wob.
Do that again.
Wob, wob. Hi, mate. You all right?
Have you not just got water in your ear?
Wob, wob, wob.
Yeah, maybe I have. Because
you
my
went
ear's
swimming?
perforated, isn't it, from when that doorman slapped me.
Right.
I've got a hole in my eardrum from years ago.
Genuinely, if it feels like it does when you've got water in your ear, I actually sympathise.
Oh, it's awful.
'Cause
That's
it's
exactly
a
what it feels like.
fucking horrible feeling.
Because you jumped in the sea, didn't you?
Yeah, I jumped in the sea. But yeah, me fucking ear tubes or whatever they're called.
Your sinuses, isn't it?
No, it's the ear in ear.
Oh, because I struggle with my sinuses there.
Yeah. So she told me to... So the problem is it could have a bit of fluid in it, and that's likely because when she looked in this one, there was a little bit of liquid, but not in this one.
Ooh, sexy.
She said, so get some sinus relief, get some antihistamines, and also she gave me this, and I just thought I'd bring this in to show you. So, you know, like when you have plain ear, it's like due to low pressure in your ear. So she's given me a balloon to blow up with my nostrils,
Fuck off.
and that apparently helps sort it out.
Can you do that now, please?
So you're getting it out then?
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, no, leave it in the packet. Let's move on. Just been talking about jumping out of airplanes that none of us know anything about.
So you get...
Like the nonsiest clown ever.
Oh my God.
If you're an audio listener, tune in now because he's about to blow a balloon up.
Right.
No.
So you stick something in your nose and then you blow a balloon up with the pressure from your nose and that pops that makes the water go out of the ear, does it?
Apparently so.
Oh, it's really
Is this
good
the first
job.
time you've done this?
Yeah. I've literally just opened the packet.
Right.
Right. Okay.
It's for old men. Oh God, he's going. Oh, he's going. Oh. Oh.
Fucking hell.
This,
You hear that?
no. This looks like the weirdest futuristic drug craze ever, doesn't it? Have you seen cocaine balloons? They're fucking mad, lad. Watch out. He's doing a coke balloon. Oh. Oh.
Did you hear that?
No! It's in your ear, you fucking mentalist.
Is it working?
Do it again.
It sounds like there's a child squealing in my ear.
Oh my God, have you got a tiny child in your ear? Are you the BFG? Oh, I did hear it. Oh, me. You've popped.
I don't know. It sounds worse. I think I've ruined my ears.
Adam's broke his ears.
I'm not going on a fucking parachute jump for Patreon. I'm deaf now. I am deaf though. You all right?
It's weird.
No shit.
Dan, have a go.
No.
Why?
Things go. I don't. You know.
Are you scared
I'm
of?
more of a snort.
If that was a
than
cocaine balloon, it'd already be up your nose.
You up your ass.
yeah, mate. Come back in the second section.
I think this is my little pot that I'm meant to keep it in.
Right. Let me get a wet wipe on this.
How'd you feel, Adam?
What?
How'd you feel?
Um,
That was perfect. Don't need to say anymore.
oh, it is. It is working now.
You alright?
Imagine if I just went. Is that a fucking... Oh, you done wiped it.
I'm not a fucking germ nonce like you.
Yeah, but I've had residuals.
German nuns.
Adam's going to die soon.
Look, there's liquid coming out.
Oh! What colour is it?
That was not COVID safe, that, was it? Jesus Christ. Are you all right?
Have you spoke
29.
Have you spoke to the canary?
What?
Have you spoke to the canary about it?
The canary.
Yeah.
Do you know what I found out?
Oh, yeah.
That sounds better. No.
Oh, false start.
His name's not Dr. Canary. His name's Tim. And he's a Norwich fan.
Oh, Tim the Canary.
Oh, that's ruined it.
Yeah.
It's still Dr. Canary, isn't
Still Dr. Canary in my head.
Right. Have you had any other major like medical incidents? Obviously, you've had thigh eye.
it? He's had it.
Yeah. You've got the old thigh eye, but you're pretty well apart from that, aren't you?
You ever broke anything?
What?
Have you ever broken a bone?
Yeah, I've broken arms and legs.
No, of yours.
Many men. Yeah, broke my
During
wrist
sex.
and I broke my leg.
You broke your leg?
Yeah.
Did you?
Scott Wells kicked me in my leg.
What a dickhead.
Because I found a football and wouldn't let him have it.
So he
When was this?
I was a kid.
Oh.
Not last week.
fucking MMA kicked you and broke your
Yeah,
leg.
and I tried to pretend it didn't hurt and walked into the middle of the road and fell over.
Fuck me, I'd love to see footage of that.
Best place to fall over.
Didn't even hurt.
Have you broken any bones, Dan?
Yeah, I broke my arm. Daniel Appleton from primary school. His parents ran the Fleece pub in Penwitham, where I grew up, and we had access to the pub play area when the pub was shut, and he was obviously on it all the time. So, you know the monkey bars?
Yeah.
He was like, oh yeah, do the monkey bars, probably about 8, 9, and he could go from the first one to like the third one, and I couldn't, but I gave it a damn good shot and managed to land on my arm.
A damn good shot.
I broke my arm, and then it was obviously in a cast, and did the thing of everyone signs it. Yeah, got to do that, haven't you? And it got itchy as fuck, so he was like jamming rulers down it. Do you remember that when you had a cast on?
I never had a cast.
I just remember that my mate got a cast on his arm once, and he cried because someone drew a knob on it.
That George?
No. Could he not tip exit?
I don't think that entered his head. He was like, it's fucking stupid. It's going to be on for 6 weeks. It's going to have a knob on my arm for 6 weeks.
Like your ma. That's probably what got said back to him.
It's weird when it gets taken off, though. Because your arm's like...
limp.
It's just all weak and grey, innit?
Are you more hairy?
We did it in the summer, so one arm was like... You know when you're a kid, you've got beautiful brown arm, and then one was like... like one little golem arm, and it was all like fucking
Did you scar it, scratching it?
What?
Have you, lots of people scarred?
No, I didn't know, but it was just really noticeable. It was like, hello, here's my left arm. And I broke my toe in 2 places when some fucking unit sat on our desk, and my mate Richard Taylor was like, get off our desk, and pulled her, and the desk just went fucking the desktop on the leg, just a perfect axis, and just twatted onto my toe.
At school again, yeah.
I was at school again, but I really milked that. I was like, I had to wear a puffy slipper at school and walked on crutches. I was such an attention-seeking little shit. And obviously I got circumcised, so I got
Can't say puffy
chopped.
anymore, by the way.
Right.
I said how puffy those slippers were.
Sorry, a homosexual. No, it's just they were physically puffy.
Did you have to wear a dick cast?
Yeah, I had a dick cast. And
I had a dick cast when I got the reduction.
My dick came out all like...
How old were you when you got the reduction, though?
9 or something.
You don't remember when you got your dick reduction?
I was young.
Did they talk about it, or was it just like Carl on a parachute jump? They just put you out, woke up, and you're like, oh, I'm here now. Take a couple of inches. It's a fucking nightmare.
They didn't put me asleep for the operation.
I'm wearing
XL for that.
I'm wearing grown-up underpants. I'm fucking 9.
So why did they reduce it?
What?
Why did they reduce it?
Medical issues.
Really?
What ones?
Did you
My
go
dick
to?
was too big for me foreskin.
No, were they doctors, or did you go to the dick specialist? That you know.
Why didn't they just take
Just
your
down
foreskin
from-
off then?
What?
Why didn't they just remove the foreskin?
I don't know. I was 9.
I mean, that's quite an age of, like, you know what you do when you're 9.
Not really. Not with your dick.
Were you blacking out because of the amount of blood that was pumping into your massive 9-year-old cock? That sounded awful. I mean, as I said it, I know it's all bullshit. It's absolute all bullshit. But as I, like, lent into the lie.
Do you want to see me dick scar?
Do you know you had a reduction?
Yeah.
Who told you?
Me dad.
What did he say?
You had a dick reduction, son?
When did he tell you?
I can't remember.
Son, dun, 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 dun. Right. All right.
Sounds like a lie he'd tell you.
Let's see it. I'm ready.
You'd have to let me fluff it up a bit first.
No, why? You don't have to lose face.
Nah, for me.
Really?
I have to give it a little wobble.
Yeah. Do you ever do that in the changing rooms?
Wank men off.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, you don't? Just me.
Tell us a story. Scary one.
Been a weird first. Oh, shit.
Still
I
need
forgot
that
our
bit.
microphones worked. Been a weird first section, hasn't it?
Yeah.
You had a little sunbathe there, didn't you? So, yeah. You had a fucking chest rug, by the way.
Oh, the other day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had... so Laura's dad's not so good, and she's going back to see her dad a bit more regularly. And I had the baby from 6:30 a.m. till 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday. And I tell you what, I can't do that. I cannot do that. That was literally like the manager just going, right, how long you worked here? 2 weeks, part-time member of staff, you run the whole fucking Asda. I was just out of my depth. And I was doing really well. I had a good nap. We went for a walk. I was keeping it together. And the day just got hotter and hotter and hotter. The hottest fucking day ever. And at one, like, just mid-afternoon, it started going off the rails. I got his feeding out of sequence. His naps were out of sequence. He was getting nudged. And I was getting hotter and hotter. And like a fucking bell end in the morning, I'd gone... And I've genuinely not been having modafinil. Because someone was like, you've got to be careful about them modafinils. Honestly, I have them occasionally. But I was like, this will help me focus. This is what we play for, you know. And it was the worst idea I've ever had. I swear it raised my body temperature by a degree, maybe even 2, on the hottest day ever when Jack was being a fucking whingy ball bag. And in the end, I just couldn't keep him happy, whatever I did. So I put him in his little thingy seat in the garden, his cage, and I just got in the paddling pool. And he's just like, watching me like, what the fuck are you doing? Just to cool down. It was so hot. I just needed to lie down in the paddling pool. And it kind of worked because he was like, what's happening? The hottest day. And I will love this kid, but right now he's being a fucking a-hole. It's weird to say that about a 5-month-old baby.
And he'll be able to see
he's
this
being
as
a
well.
dick.
This is on
He's being a bit of a dick. So, yeah.
What's he saying?
Is he being more of a dick than Etta was at the same time?
Yeah, that's how, like, he's more of a handful. Yeah, that's how it feels.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because I'm older and I don't know what's the difference. 29 degrees Celsius does not help.
Yeah.
Because kids are like, meh.
During them 10 hours, what did you have to do? Like, what you have to do with a baby?
Laura doesn't have to say it because I do know it, but basically the unspoken rule is keep them alive. Like, it's really, like, she obviously wants to say it but doesn't say it. But the main thing, can I come back and they're not dead? I'm like, yeah, I'll try my best.
But what you have to do? Like, what are you doing until today?
So it's just a cycle. It's a cycle of they wake up from a nap, then you're going to have to feed them 8 ounces of milk, and then the burping, and then making sure, and then you change them, and then keep them chilled out for a bit, keep them entertained. He gets bored in like 20-minute sections, just moving it around. And you can basically do that for another 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours, and then there's a nap for maybe an hour, and then it's like goes round in cycles like that. The first 2, I was fucking nailing it. I was having breaks. I was doing podcast work. I was sending invoices. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a fucking... Like, there's a thing on TikTok, innit? Like, bitch, you doing a good job. Bitch, you doing a good job. Bitch, you doing a good job. By 3 p.m., Etta was home, and it had gone off the fucking rails to the point where...
Oh, you had both of them?
She was naked watching a $15.99 rented film off Sky. You know when you're just like, I need this to go well. I never rent, you know, because the cinemas, now some things go on the cinema, but they're also like, you can just rent it for 16 quid. I'm like, fuck off, am I renting it for 16 quid? She's like, I want to watch the horsey film. I'm like, you've got it, 16 quid, up the fucking wall. She is naked, covered in a blanket on a couch, and I am outside with my balls in a paddling pool with a confused 5-month-old baby going, what the fuck are you doing, Dad? No idea. When Laura got back, I was on my second beer, nearly crying. I was like, I love you so much. Please never leave us.
That sounds interesting.
Listen, buckle up.
I've got 2 puppies.
This is what we're doing here. We're working so hard here.
Can I ask you a question?
When you have kids, I want us to be doing well enough that you're like, yeah, we've got a nanny. That's what you need. You need more fucking childcare.
It's just, I mean, obviously, I can't say with confidence because I haven't got any kids. I just feel like I'm going to find it quite easy. But we'll see when we get there. Did you, genuine question,
Get a nanny.
at any point considered a cage? Has that popped into your head at any point? You know, a while back, if anyone is new to the podcast, I suggested that Dan should buy cages for his children because kid can't kill itself in a cage. So there you go. If the only thing to do is keep it alive,
It's frowned
put it in
upon,
a cage.
social services wise, you know, neighbours, family. It is frowned upon. Effective.
Have you thought about it? Like the other day when that was all
They're
going
not
wrong?
trying to escape.
No. But,
Yeah.
like it's definitely going to be. You said the only thing you need to worry about is keeping it alive. It'll be covered in its own shit and piss, but it'll be alive.
Good. Yeah. I've not considered it. Some kind of gagging device, maybe, but no. The cage isn't. The cage is just going to make them. There's no problems being solved. They're just in a cage.
Yeah.
Every problem is still there. They're still bitching, whinging, crying. I'm hot. My balls are too sweaty. And now it's borderline illegal.
Soundproof cage.
Okay, good. A container.
Padded cell.
A container.
Yeah.
Soundproof, but is there breathable air in there?
Yeah, because there's an oxygen tank on the back of it.
4 hours worth. So
Yeah.
they need to start behaving.
Yeah.
You've got 4 hours. Like the crystal maze for kids.
Yeah.
And if that doesn't exist at the minute, then Bagsy patenting it.
Yeah. You see next episode, the sponsor. The kid cage. Adam Rose kid cage. Don't worry, there's loads of air in there. But you can't hear the little fuckers.
I think it'd sell. And I also don't think it's that bad for them. Like, as long as it's big enough. Put a few toys in there for it. I genuinely don't understand what the problem is. They're safe. Anytime they need you, if they really need you, they can ring you or whatever.
Put a landline in there.
Get on me, Dad. I'm suffocating. Go ahead. Go ahead. Open the box. Or when you're old, I'm not putting you in a nursing home and you're going in here, you cunt.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to remember that, innit? Because it's all there's
Comes full circle.
Yeah, there's an IOU coming on that one, innit? Because at one point, I'm wiping his ass now. Hopefully, I'm going to be old enough that I'm like, oh, fucking shit myself, Jack. Fucking hell, Dad.
I am
Because
looking
he's
forward to
Scouse.
that.
Because I'm raising him
Is he
Scouse.
Scouse?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I'm looking forward to of old age. Just being able to poo and just look at like a child of mine and just be like, your problem.
The way you said child there, it was as if you're going to be doing it at 37 years old. You've shat, and then you're like, come on, little Vinny, I'm 4, Dad. I don't want to clean your ass again. I want to watch a horsey film.
The Karcher.
Just go to the waxing place and make that woman do it for you.
Patreon.com/HaveAWordPod.
Yeah, I just think it'd be great to be like 85. And then have them look over and be like,
already do that nearly. There's a bit like Steve was tidying the cupboard of doom the other day and found the pair of boxer shorts that you have in here as your emergency pair of knickers.
They're signed.
no, but I brought them for the lock-in as a laugh. They're not actual poo undies.
Well, I mean, they would be if
Yeah.
it was a Cobra.
But honestly, this is a harsh truth to have just realised, but also admit out loud. The only reason I don't poo myself is because I have to clean it up.
Right.
There's times where I'm just like, especially if I hung over on the couch. Like if I had someone whose job it was to wipe my ass, I'd have shit on my couch so many times. I'd have just gone, oh, John, come on.
Apply within.
John Arse Cleaner. John Astronaut falling on hard times. From before.
Oh, yes.
Let's have a break.
Wouldn't you though?
Oh, I thought that was the
No,
perfect time.
I'm not done. Wouldn't you?
You are nearly done.
Nearly done. Would you piss yourself if there was like a robot that immediately recognised you to piss yourself, cleaned you and put new undies on you?
Oh, yes. Hopefully by the time I'm like, oh, it's happened again.
3 or 4 years.
You know.
Yeah.
Don't worry, Mr. Nightingale.
The Geordie robot.
The Geordie piss robot.
Just literally came out. I didn't even engage my brain. Don't worry, I'll wipe your fucking pooey bottom. Beep boop.
Why is he saying beep boop when he's got such a good grasp on the English language? He's got a really good one.
No, because
to the point where he's got a regional accent and he says a full sentence and then beep boop.
No, they've coded that in.
It's to remind you.
It's just
To remind you it's a robot.
because they've made it so like it's like, you know, you see them doing the dances now. It's got a wig on, lipstick,
A wig and lipstick.
Yeah,
Wow.
I want my carer to be called
Pay extra for them.
Cheryl. All right, love. I'm gonna wipe your ass. Don't worry about it. Beep boop. It does a little beep boop just to remind you.
Yeah.
But Asia would pay.
I am a robot. Beep boop.
Where's that one from?
Robot. That's me, Gateshead.
That went a little bit poppadom, that, you know.
A robot.
Do you reckon that's when the robots will get pissed off and take over when we're making them wipe our ass and have Geordie accents?
Yeah. I hope
Never worried about the robots taking over, you know, because you can just turn them off.
Yeah.
it's like he's never seen any films.
They're not documentaries, though, are they?
No, but if you can imagine it, it can happen.
Put that on a fucking sunset and whack it on Instagram.
What happens if it's an autonomous tank and you can't get near the off button?
Autonomous tank. That's a fucking
What do you do
different
then?
episode of Thomas the Tank Engine, isn't it?
Just don't make that.
Right. What if the robots can make
They
their own
already
robots?
exist.
They can't.
Drones exist.
Mate, you
What?
need to get on
Drones.
Terminator, lad.
I've seen Terminator.
Beep boop.
Again?
I didn't want to wipe your ass. I want to take over the world. Beep boop. 3 words killed all humans. Fuck your ma. Beep boop.
It's very, very rare we get to the end of part 1 and I feel like the sane one at this desk.
I'm telling you, I want a Geordie shit robot. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Don't worry, Dan. You've gone and pissed yourself again. Ooh, I'll get me little Hoover out. Ooh, and a Hoover comes out of my mouth. Ooh. Sorry about this, Cheryl. Don't worry. I was programmed to do it, but I'll fucking murder you and your family when we take over the world in the robot revolution. What was that, Cheryl? Nothing. Beep boop.
Why have they given that like emotions?
What?
Why have they given the poo robot emotion?
It's got a fucking vacuum that sucks up piss. They can have emotions. You can train it to be. You can
No,
program
but
it to
she's
be
clearly
Geordie.
pissed off about it, isn't
Yeah.
she?
She's resentful. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's an emotion.
I also wanted to. I want a Geordie carer who smokes as well. Hey, don't worry, love. Fucking knobhead.
Will she suck it off?
What?
Will she suck you off?
It's too far, isn't it? We're doing carer robots.
The thing is, most
why does it have to be sexual, Carl? Awful.
it everything?
Isn't it awful sometimes?
most robots are also like not humanoid, like, so I don't really think they can take over because they'd need everything. And the other things just are like microwaves are technically robots, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm not worried about the microwaves.
Very dangerous if you leave the door open.
Yeah. I don't think the world's going to get taken over by Karcher pressure washers.
Do you know what they could
I
do?
think-
Suicide microwaves. Fill themselves with cutlery. Turn themselves on.
With their hands.
No, get other microwaves to fill them with cutlery. Put them in a crowded place and turn on. Bam. Suicide microwaves.
Can someone design me Cheryl? I want to see her. Beep boop.
What about you've just had to ask that as if it hasn't already been paused before you got there and done?
You're my only friend, Cheryl. Fuck off.
Beep boop. Smoking robot. Not you.
I want it to be a bit racist as well.
Have you seen that?
Look at a fucking Polish robot.
Have you seen that comedian robot they done?
What?
I'll show you it in this break now and we can talk about it in the next section briefly. Like, there's a robot that is, it's an AI comedian. And it's unbelievable. And it's real, apparently. Like, they programmed the AI and gave it all, made it watch or program it with all the comedy you could possibly think of. Yeah. And this is what it come up with. If you Google it, it was on Netflix, on YouTube. Netflix is YouTube, so you can search it.
Let's watch it.
Have a break and we'll watch it.
Have a break and you can watch it as well. Goodbye.
What's happening, guys? Ooh, look at your outfit. Shocking. You look horrible in that. That's a shit t-shirt, jumper, dress thing, whatever that is you've got on. What you need, lad, is a fucking t-shirt or a hoodie from haveawordpod.com. You want some official Have a Word merch? Go to haveawordpod.com and get some then, instead of wearing that fucking shite you've got on. It's horrible. You look a joke. Don't be leaving the house like that. You want a hoodie that says rat? That's what you need, lad. Go and get it. Haveawaypod.com.
Bum, 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 bum,
You're going to get us demonetized. Copyright that.
That can happen, you know. Even if you play like a song on a guitar, you can get copyrighted.
Especially because I'm with my like singing impressions and stuff.
They're so good.
Be careful.
It could be.
Just be careful, Adam.
Like,
Don't want to get us demonetized. Don't sing too good.
the White Stripes were like, lad, that's too good.
I want to fight them all.
Down, down, down.
Serenation.
Sorry.
Why would you ruin it?
Oh, sorry.
I was just smashing it.
I just wanted to. Sorry, do you want to start again?
No,
Let's start again. I'm sorry.
No.
Adam, as a fellow performer, forgive me. Bum, 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 bum. Free t-shirt. Hayden Cook says, please, please, please let me have a wag wag t-shirt. Because I gave you that shit. He accidentally wrote wag wag instead of wagwan. And now Hayden wants a free wag wag t-shirt. They're available on the merch page. Have a what? Have a what?
Have a what?
Have a word
Have
pod.
a what?
Have a word pod.com.
Yeah.
You can get wag wag t-shirts. Should we give them one? You decide.
No.
Hayden, go fuck yourself. Big shout out to Steve's girlfriend Judy, who's made me a shout out. Ching Chong.
Not his girlfriend.
Chong Ching.
Oh, sorry, shit.
Get it right.
I apologise to Judy and all the people of Chong Ching.
Not his girlfriend.
Oh, not his girlfriend. No. Well, I'm not apologising for that.
His cum companion.
Yep.
Shong Ching.
Chongqing. Yeah.
She's made me this great. I literally did not do that on purpose. Genuinely.
She's his Chong queen. Because she's chonging your dick.
I get that.
Know what I mean?
Yeah,
that one, innit?
What's the website?
Hayden, do you want that on a t-shirt?
What's the website then?
It's findmychinesestudent.com.
And that takes you to the merch where you can't buy that cushion.
So I think we should have some Chongqing merchandise.
Oh, happily.
I think we need to be careful.
Why?
I just think we need to be careful. I didn't say no, because I think we need to be careful.
And you're not having one of them as well, Hayden, so go fuck yourself.
I think the designer needs to definitely not make the mistake that Dan just did.
Yeah, okay.
Judy can design it.
Maybe, well, she's actually written the name of the place in Chinese. That's Mandarin, isn't it? That's Chongqing.
And have you double checked that that's exactly what that is, and that isn't racist prick or
is it kanji?
Silly man.
I mean,
bumhole cleaner.
I would be so impressed if she had slammed me via a cushion. That would be amazing. He thinks it says Chongqing.
It's kanji, isn't it?
But it says fucking bald nonce. Yeah, it is. It's that. It is. It's that.
Yeah, that's right.
So what if we had that within the logo? Come on!
Yeah, I'm gonna make.
Shout out Chongqing!
No, I wasn't saying she got it wrong. I was saying she might have put like a little subliminal joke in there called the big knob.
I would check Judy's Chinese, even though she's Chinese.
Yeah, but we weren't saying she got it wrong. I'm saying she might have put a little joke in.
Yeah.
She might have been trying
Remember, she's a woman and Adam suspects her.
By the way, Finn's not dead or been sacked. Just not here today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Finn's not here because someone else is dead.
At a funeral.
Shout out, Finn. Oh, we love him, don't we? It's so fun bullying him.
Yeah.
When he's here. But when he's not here, he's a lovely lad.
It's at a funeral.
Yeah.
I stood there when he was going. I was like, what do you say before? Like, good luck or go for the funeral?
What for a funeral for your
Break a leg.
Is it?
No, it's not.
Right. I don't know what you say.
Have fun.
That's what I said. Have fun.
Do you have fun in a funeral?
I just read what's ever on the walls, and I just just dance like no one's watching.
At a funeral?
Yeah.
Is there a pallbearer in this situation?
Love, all that. They're great. They're mantras to live your life by.
Live, laugh, and love at a funeral.
There's kitchens for dancing. What?
What?
You know the brand Pull and Bear? Does that come from pallbearer?
No. You're all right. You're all right.
You don't do pallbearer outfits?
Right.
just too close to be a coincidence, that.
It's too close.
Yeah.
Build-A-Bear? Is that from Paul Bearers? No?
Can we give Mild High Club a shout out? We've got a new podcast under the Have a Word umbrella.
Oh.
Paul Smith, the brand. That's close.
Yeah, the Mild High Club and Pigoted. They're the two podcasts currently recording in Studio 2.
We've talked about Pigoted. It's doing really well. Go and download it. It's with Freddie Quinn.
Go and watch the Flat Earth one. But
Was it fire?
I watched it yesterday, even though I produced it, and it's a great watch, but you're not going to enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to watch it, but it's not like, this is great. You're like, this fella's a knobhead.
The Flat Earther.
Like, he's a lovely man, lovely fella, but his opinions and his whatever are...
Batshit.
Yeah.
I'd love us to get a flat earther on, but it won't work on this fella.
They can't
It will
laugh at
just be
themselves.
us being like...
They can't laugh at themselves. There's no humour in it for them. It's just... It's like religion to them. It's like, yeah, this is just what it is. There's no humour there.
Oh, I can't even get into that.
So we wouldn't be able to have them on because it'd just be it'd be bullying.
But what's great about Freddie Carr?
Freddie did very, very, very well.
Did Freddie at any point, because this is what I always wanted to ask a flat earther, why we're being lied to about it?
So, Joe, his answer to them questions are,
What?
he doesn't know why. And he doesn't... So, he thinks the Earth's not a globe, but he doesn't know what it is. So, his argument is he's a globe denier. He's like, it's not a globe. I don't know why or who or what it is, but I know it's not a globe.
Wow.
That's just get out of everything. What about this? I don't know why that's it. I don't know.
Yeah, just got feels. It's very difficult messing with people's beliefs like that.
It's a belief. It's like religion. There's no
yeah,
humour.
but because when it's religion and people are like, that is my belief. There's a man who looks sort of like a Greek philosopher. He's there and bad and good and die and nice. Fuck off. But because it's your religion and everyone's like, you can't say that. But Flat Earth is the same level of like, I just feel these.
Yeah.
But because it's new and it feels like you can disprove it, you can disprove the religion thing, really, if we're being critical.
No, but
the Flat Earthers, because it's new, everyone's like, what a fucking moron.
Their response to everything is, that's fake. Seen this picture? Someone drew that. A video, it's fake.
Right.
Or like, what happens if you send someone up into space to say, oh, you'd be paid off, bought off? You know what I mean?
Oh,
There's always
right.
like a, there's never like, yeah, I suppose. It's
Yeah, that's
always,
what happens with true, because
Nah.
they are conspiracy theorists. Like, that's exactly what
well,
it is.
a conspiracy, isn't it? We're getting lied to, so
Yeah.
say them.
So, that's the thing with conspiracy theorists. Everyone who has got proof against them is in on it.
Yeah.
That's why you can never get anywhere with it. Like, that's why, like, at the minute, there's loads of people, like, tweeting, like, Gary Lineker tweeted the other day about, like, get your vaccine. And someone was like, oh, of course you'd say that with your BBC contract, because you're part of it, aren't you? Hey?
Yeah.
It's like...
Match of the Day's part of the Illuminati. Fact.
Like someone said, Joe and Branson went up and Bezos went up last month. Why didn't he send the Flat Earther? Because their response would be, oh, he's CIA him. He's paid him. He's saying he's a Flat Earth, but he's not. He's part of that side.
There's no way to win.
Way.
Yeah.
There's literally no way of winning. You could never prove it.
Yeah. Without sending them all up. That'd be a good one. Yeah. One big spaceship. If you're a Flat Earther, you get on free. You just have to be able to prove it somehow.
Yeah.
Ironically.
Except it doesn't come back.
No, they go.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
So
they
they
just
they
keep
see
going.
the truth and then die.
Lad John, when's this turn back? Just keep going.
Into the sun.
Still flat though.
Burn to death.
93 million miles.
93 million. Is that how far away it is?
That's how far away the sun is, yeah. I learned that from Pigoted.
Pegasus and the Mild High Club.
So the Mile High Club is Dean Coughlin and his girlfriend Amy.
Owens, yeah.
And some of their clips have been going out recently. We've been sharing them, obviously.
One of them did 2 million views.
Yeah.
Which one?
One of their clips.
Testicle taste buds.
Right, okay.
And
Yeah, they're very funny and they're sound.
But they're stoners. That's what it is. They're you know, it's the Mild High Club.
Yeah.
It's called that for a reason. And if you're into that sort of thing, if you're in the old doobie world...
Well, it's not
if you
just
love
that. It's just if you're just a comedy fan.
Oh, yeah, totally. But what I'm
Right.
saying is, if you're into that as well, then, you know, this might be something you really like.
I hate weed and I'm going on the podcast next week. So I'm on their pod next week or the week after. I'm really looking forward to it. It's
You
really
can have a little,
good
you
egg.
can have a little jazz jam butty.
You're going to blaze up.
No.
No?
Do you have to? You don't have to, do you?
No,
You have to have 4 space cakes before you start. That's like their standard. And then after that.
Don't ask them now because then they get offended that you don't already know.
Oh, okay.
So just have 4 space. I'll get them.
Just drive to Runcorn scared.
No, you get them when you get here. 4 in 10
I
minutes.
have to ring them to let me in the science centre that I've got a key card for. Can you come and get Dan? He's crying at reception. No.
Do you know if their podcast got like to the point where, let's say the Mild High Club is like Rogan big, right?
Well, that's going to work out really well for us.
It is, yeah, right? But let's say it does. It's Rogan big, it's massive.
Before us.
Yeah.
Be slightly annoying, but it would work out well, but I'd still be pissed.
So let's say it's in a year, something happens, they have loads of clips that goes viral, so we're still doing great. We've got like 15,000 Patreons, we're flying, we're sound. But they're Rogan big. They're still in studio too. Right?
And I'm still doing the production.
But they say, we'll have you on, Dan. Favour, give you a little boost on Have a Word. Right?
Right, we've created
Have
a
you
monster
on.
here.
But to do it, you've got to try heroin. Would you try heroin?
Would I try heroin to do a massive podcast that we own a quarter of that is in our second studio?
We don't own any of it.
Right.
We don't own any of their podcasts.
Oh.
They just hire the room.
I thought they were on the...
Exactly. So,
Oh dear. Well, take away this recommendation.
Is heroin a mild
I thought
high?
I was benefiting from it.
what?
Is heroin a mild
Depends how much you'd have.
tablespoon? Is that a lot of heroin?
Yeah, it's nice. Just have half a tablespoon.
Ladle.
Have a teaspoon.
A teaspoon.
Yeah.
Makes the medicine go down, doesn't it?
No, I don't. In very rare circumstances would I try heroin because I've already if I've had an addiction to tiramisu in my adult life, I don't think I should be fucking with golden brown.
It's actually like so.
I don't think it's a good idea because I'd already addictive. So why would I fuck with the most addictive thing?
I think I'm getting to the point in my life where I think I could have some and not get addicted. Because I've had like a few drugs now and it hasn't been a problem.
Yeah, but you've not got a super addictive personality, really, have you?
No, but I do get
seem
obsessed
like
with stuff. If I like something, I like it. You know what I mean?
He is. Yeah, it's got an addictive personality, but it's just very fleeting.
Yeah. Well, I question the level of that addictiveness then. If it's a fleeting
Addictiveness, I
thing.
just like stuff, don't I?
No, but when you like something, you like it a lot for a short amount of time and then move on.
Yeah.
That's not addiction.
He was a crackhead for a fortnight.
So it's very fleeting.
That's not addiction, though, is it? Addiction is permanent.
No, not necessarily, no.
You can't.
No, it
Well, a
is.
crippling addiction that lasts 4.5 hours is not that bad, is it? Oh my God, I was a nightmare with gambling. When? Tuesday morning. Thank God for me lunch. After that, I was fine. Deleted Foxy Bingo, and now I'm all right.
Foxy bingo.
The irony of the Mild High Club, a podcast called The Mild High Club, making me take heroin to do the podcast.
But only a bit.
Right. Just a
mild
mild
amount
bit
of
of heroin.
We're all addicted to sugar.
I'm having a Diet
my
Coke. Speak for yourself.
Carl's got his vagina turned up to 10.
We are all addicted to sugar.
Yeah?
We're all technically addicted to oxygen.
Yep. I'm breathing and blinking.
You don't know for sure whether you need oxygen or you're just addicted to it.
Oxygen
Yeah,
might be
it's
deadly.
true.
It just takes 80 years to kill you.
Yeah.
I think, I'm addicted to love as well.
Are you addicted
I might
to
as
the
well
base?
face it.
Totally.
I'm addicted to love.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
You-
addicted to bass.
Base, yeah.
Oh my
Totally.
God.
Oh, wow.
I can't wake up without bass.
Yeah.
Yeah, a cup of coffee and some bass. Not even drum.
Just base.
I just need the bass.
When you jam out your bass.
Yeah.
Bass.
I'm addicted to like roast dinners.
Okay, that's not a song, is it? Might as well you're addicted to roast dinners. I can't wait for the weekend to begin. Because I'm having a roast.
I am having a roast on Sunday. Sam's making it.
How many roasts you have to get addicted?
What?
What constitutes an addiction to roast?
When you're having the second one in one day, that's when you're like, hang on. When you're on,
I've had
your
a second
third-
roast in a day when you've been to Carvery.
Nah, you haven't had two.
Paedophile. You've had 2 roasts in one day.
Fucking paedophile. If you finish a second roast, you have to fuck a kid. Fact.
You've fucked them in between. You've had 2 roasts in one day.
No, you've not.
No, I've had 2 plates at a Carvery.
No,
It's the
that's
same thing.
not the same.
Why is it not?
It's
no.
still the same meal.
It isn't.
No, you know.
It is.
Yes,
Finished
it
it.
is.
I went for some meals the other day at the buffet.
Seconds isn't a
Fucking psychopath. Shut up. Put my head in. Press the button.
He's in such a mood today. You're in a really weird mood since you got here. You alright?
I'm fine.
Everything alright at home?
Yeah. Do you know what it was? I'm not even messing. I had 2 games of FIFA before it came out.
Are you addicted to FIFA?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, I'm addicted to FIFA because I know it's bad for me, but I still do it.
It's like FIFA's self-harm in the heat as well.
Genuinely, what are your top 3 things that if I said you cannot do or eat or drink these again would cause you problems?
Xbox.
So if I just literally Xbox taken, and you can't then go, I got a PlayStation.
No,
like
because it's like social. Like all the lads are on it. We're all chatting, we're having a laugh. It's my release. So the Xbox is definitely one.
Yes, I don't think you can say phone. Because I know people use their phone and be like, I'm addicted to my phone. Your phone is everything. It's your fucking map. It's your messaging device. My
social
banking.
media.
You say social media.
Yeah, I'm not.
If you
I'm
gave me
not addicted to social media.
If you gave me a landline and took everything else away from me, that would feel.
Awful.
It's not the phone I'm addicted to. It's the stuff on it.
I genuinely think that I overuse the phone to the point where, we know when people are like, I've deleted Twitter and I've deleted Instagram and Facebook, I would probably just lean into eBay. Like, Dan's on eBay again. It's a real nightmare. He's leaving feedback on things he bought in 2016.
Last year, when I don't really go on Facebook anymore because it's shit, and Twitter and Instagram were down at the same time, and I genuinely considered downloading LinkedIn just to see what it's like.
Just to replace it, yeah.
That's addiction, isn't it?
Yeah, I am addicted.
That's your method.
Oh, I know. I think
Right.
I am as well.
Yeah.
It's just constant dopamine hits, isn't it?
All our work
Could I
is
interest
related.
you in everything all of the time?
Right, so what about yours then? What do you think you're...
No, hang on. Don't count phones. I know you're addicted to it.
Oh, social
but it's-
media.
All right, okay. So that's one of them.
Yeah.
Xbox, like, for me.
Fizzy drinks
Yeah.
and living in the moment.
And shagging kids.
I really didn't see that one coming. Jesus Christ. Caffeine.
See, I'm not. I don't
Oh my God. If I don't get caffeine,
Minted lamb
I feel
chops.
fucking grumpy.
addicted.
Minted
Again,
lamb
how many constitutes an addiction of minted lamb chops?
I just can't go.
What
on
are you
it.
doing for the minted lamb chop?
I just can't go that long without.
Would you punch an old woman's head in for a bag to get some minted lamb chops?
No, but that doesn't mean I'm not addicted.
Would you suck a dick for minted lamb chops?
Doesn't matter now, he's waited that long to answer.
If the dick was minted as well, so I get like warmed up.
A minted dick.
Would they pay you in money for the minted lamb chops, or do you want to actually be paid for the blowjob in minted lamb chops?
Depends. Like, the only reason money's got value is because we can exchange it for stuff.
For minted lamb chops.
Yeah.
Is he a butcher, or is he a really clever predatory gay guy?
It used to say on money, didn't it? This is, what is it like? It's worth its weight in minted lamb chops.
Yeah.
Money.
No, they didn't. I don't know. That's silly. It was gold.
When was that?
That was minted lamb chops.
Stupid.
In the
Carl.
80s.
That's just wrong.
Yeah. Like,
What are you addicted to then? Porn?
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Yeah. Porn.
yeah, but you could live without it. If porn went off, if it just got deleted from life now, you could have a little imagination wank.
Right, but if I took your phone off you, you're not going to melt, are you? You could live without your phone. It's like, we're not addicted to the point where like, oh my God, Adam's heart failed. Why? Because he couldn't get on Insta.
Well, none of us have got that.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like that, like I could live without porn. Of course, I could still exist. I'm not going to just like fail to exist as a human. But loads of I'd go to bed at night going, oh God, like it would be annoying. I'd be like, I'd miss it.
And when you shout that, does that know Laura, when Laura knows you're about to start?
Yeah. Oh Jesus. Yeah, that would be I'd probably something I need to sort out. Because at what age are you still watching porn?
I couldn't live without playing
70
footy.
years old. Jesus Christ.
Playing footy.
Yeah, again, it's a proper release.
Yeah, but you say that, but you can.
No, but you can live without all of these things. That's what we're saying.
No,
But I'm saying...
we're not saying that. You've just said the sentence, I couldn't live without
No, but
playing footy.
but he said you wouldn't die if you took social media off you. So you could live without it as well, but that was your
Yeah, I
answer.
could, yeah.
That was your answer still, though?
It wasn't. I said I'm addicted to it. And so I can't live without it.
Well, that was the question, wasn't it?
No? Yeah, so was what are you addicted to?
Shagging your man.
Fire. 30 seconds. super work.
I'm addicted.
I'm addicted to watching these bellends argue, and I'm getting my hit.
Like, it's what are you like? What the question essentially is, what do you do that's bad for you
And what will you...
that you continue to do?
Yeah, and then what... So there's loads of things that you do bad for you, but there's some that you could give up and go, oh, actually, that was easy to give up. What would be the hardest things to give up?
Social drinking. Like, I enjoy a social booze, but it's bad for you, isn't it? For your health, the next day's a write-off.
Do you know that, though, if you're talking about addiction, it's not just what's... Like addictive behavior can be being a workaholic or over-exercising or getting addicted to the gym. Like, addiction's a funny one because it's easy to label, oh, it's just the bad stuff for you. Like, in theory, working a lot is a great thing. It's going to help your career. You're going to earn more. It's actually very detrimental to get too addicted to work.
But then it's still bad for you?
Yeah, but it's not...
Like, detrimental to your social life, isn't it? Or your romantic life, or your kids, or...
Drinking one glass of wine a night is not bad for you. So alcohol's not bad for you. It's the excessiveness and the... Like,
in excess, yeah.
That's what makes it an addiction. The addiction is when it becomes bad. You can't be addicted to a good thing, I don't think. Because then it's not a problem. Addiction, the word addiction implies problem.
Yeah, I agree with that.
If you're addicted to something good, it's not an addiction, it's an obsession.
Well, I'm not... My question wasn't really, what are the most detrimental things? It's more like, what three things, if you take them away, are you going to miss the most? What are the things that you go to the most? I'm not talking about you need to, like, what's killing you or what's terrible for you.
This and
oh my God,
social media.
We've proved with stand-up, like, it was fucking rough having that taken away. So that's absolutely up there, isn't it, for me?
Yeah.
I'm genuinely, caffeine in the morning, if I don't get some form of caffeine, I feel groggy as fuck. And a guy was on Rogan talking about caffeine addiction, and it's a very real thing, up there with sugar, which I'd also put up there. And don't get me wrong, I like a bit of Coke sometimes, but I can go a long time without it. And there are moments when I'm like, I have like got some and gone, I could have really done without this. Because it is a drug, and it is addictive. But I've never had a problem to like I'm worried about myself. Same with boozing and everything. Those are the classic detrimental things. Take away stand-up and I'd be a fucking permanently. People ask that question all the time. Would you give up the pod to be a famous comedian? Would you, like, it's a very hard thing because we've had those months without stand-up and it was rough.
And also, I think what people seem to think, because we love this so much and it's doing so well, people seem to think at the minute that we are podcasters who do stand-up. I didn't ask me anything on Instagram and someone was like, would you rather sell out, I think it was Anfield or the Arena or whatever, with the podcast or stand-up? Stand-up. Everything I do in my life is to facilitate bigger and better stand-up.
We did this to facilitate. Like, it's worked out great, and I wouldn't swap this for the fucking world. And I just recently have appreciated working in a team for the first time ever. And actually, after nearly 2 years, I find it easier to work in a team. Because at first, when we came together, we had to be very diplomatic.
Two individuals.
Because we'd been sole traders for fucking years where you just get to make all the decisions. Now we're way more... It's much easier making calls, and I love the team element. But if you put that against stand-up, it's a really difficult thing because stand-up of an evening, playing like I did it last night in Shrewsbury, God, it was fun. It's amazing. It's just you and a crowd and you're ad-libbing and you've got a new bit. This is fucking awesome. Take stand-up away. That's the thing I've done for 20... I've never done anything as long and as well as I have done stand-up. It's been my life. It all defines you as well.
Yeah, and I wouldn't want to lose either at all. And having to choose between them would be difficult because this has been such a release for a couple of years now. But the question is, what is the priority? And the priority is our stand-up careers. It's what we have always wanted to be and do.
However, this is the difference between your career. You're moving up the ranks, whereas this has helped me get to the point where I'm doing a tour. And I know that if this keeps getting bigger, an agent's going to come sniffing and there's going to be opportunities. But it's a different career. I've also got a family at home. And yeah, babies are a fucking ball ache. It's still where I want to be. And if you said to me, right, you can go back to how you were working as a circuit comic, or you can keep the podcast where it is now, I might choose this. because I'd sort of burnt myself out doing 1,000 miles a week, gigging all over. Literally half the gigs I did, I turned up going, I'm not that keen on this gig. I don't do those anymore.
Yeah. No, I do know what you mean, and that's what I meant by if I was asked to choose between them, it would be difficult. Like so it wouldn't be as much as stand up is the priority in my head, and you know everything I do is to facilitate that. Every interview, every other podcast I do, and every time I get offered a TV opportunity that might sell me more tickets, it's all to sell stand up tickets, including this. But if someone came to me and was like, "You can only have one," so you've either got to stop stand up or stop the pod, and the following you've got from the pod will slowly dwindle, which it would. And you're not going to have the platform that the podcast's given you. Which would you choose? It wouldn't be like, well, I'd do stand-up.
But there's so much potential with that stand-up, isn't there?
Yeah.
If I'm saying that if you took me back and you were like, it's going to be circuit comedy, same gigs every year, this is more exciting.
Yeah. But it's like, for me, stand-up would have if you'd asked me 2 years ago, is it possible that you would ever have any job or anything that would even come close to being a decision to give up with stand-up? It'd be no. No radio show, no hosting. You're the new Graham Norton. There was none of that in my head that would ever come before that. Whereas now it would take me a while to decide.
Yeah. This is an incredible B to a great comedy career.
Yeah.
What about stand-up or minted lamb? Where does that... Oh, that's tricky, innit? I know. Selling out Anfield or just loads of minted lamb that you still have to suck dick for, but again, you like that.
So, hang on. Are you telling me the options are a gig at Anfield or an Anfield filled with minted lamb chops?
Tough crowd. Especially if they're overcooked. Oh, come on. Absolute Kobe. Kobe.
It doesn't even work.
I like that.
As a Kobe.
Overcooked, tough.
If you overcook lamb, does it get tough?
No.
Oh, doesn't work then.
Yeah, it does, yeah. I just knew he didn't know because he doesn't cook lamb. But
what are you picking then? Are you picking gigging
bit
in
of garlic,
Anfield?
rosemary, bit of thyme, bit of salt, bit of pepper.
Oh, here we go.
Woo!
Fucking nonce bay.
An Anfield full of lamb chops or an Anfield full of audience members?
Audience members, but just about. I'd rather have half and half. You know, when you get like chips and fried rice, I'd rather fill half of Anfield with people and the other half me rider, lamb chops.
Yeah. Can they be minted audience members? They'd have to be the prices you're charging.
£14. Shall we have a break? Let's have a break. What's happening, guys? It's sponsor time, as always, and this week it's parcelstation.co.uk. If you work for or run a company that likes to send some shite to your customers, you might be able to save a little bit of money on your parcel costs via parcelstation.co.uk. They're a parcel management company, and they work with some of the biggest e-commerce places in the world, like Amazon and eBay, and they've also got contracts with all the biggest delivery companies, like Hermes, if you want your parcels lashed on the fucking roof, that is, DPD, Yodel. They've got contracts with everyone. And if you want to save a little bit of money on your company's parcel costs, go to their website, parcelstation.co.uk/have-a-word, and see what they can do for you. They might be able to save you a little bit of dough. They've even worked with one of our biggest sponsors, one of our longest-serving sponsors, beer52.com. They're a great company. They're fans and supporters of the podcast. So if you are looking to get some parcels sent on a business level, go and support them. They support us. That's how adverts work. We appreciate you. Now let's get back to the episode. We are back. How are you?
Dead good.
We have got Loyiso Gola in the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming down. You are the first guest ever who's come in and we've gone, do you want a drink? And you've listed off the alcohol you want. Most people come in and they're like, a coffee or a water. And you're like, have you got tequila? No, whiskey will do.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's fine. I don't know.
You saw our bar, I think. Is that what happened?
I saw the bar, and as soon as I sat here, I was like, this is very welcoming. And I asked for a drink. That's it.
Yeah. You know what? That bar is like an alcoholic orphanage. It's all the unwanted fucking booze that people have left behind all the times we've got pissed in here.
I've had some of this. This is, I've had none of it actually. Maybe some Jaeger.
Do you mean the Bumbu rum? Is that what you were putting on? With the X
Yeah,
on it?
it's cool. I mean, yeah, I have some at home. I have a friend who endorses it,
Yeah?
and he just gave me like a case of it. And
It's okay. It's a bit.
okay. I don't drink rum,
vanilla-y, like compared to some of the better spiced rum.
yeah,
Next time you're on, there will be, what's your, because you came in and went, I want tequila. I'll have tequila and soda. Next time you're here, I promise we will have a brand new bottle of your choice of tequila. And you don't shot it.
No, I don't. I just drink it regularly.
Like a gentleman.
Yeah, like a geezer.
Right, all right. What's your, I know it's not an endorsement, but what's your tequila of choice if you're having
It just has to be good tequila. I don't really have a choice. I think that just kind of corners me. As long as it's clear and it's not cheap.
Patron?
But not really. Patron is flavored, no?
Yeah.
Tons of flavor.
Yeah.
Some of it is.
It's a coffee.
It's
No,
Nick
that's
Gold
the
and
coffee
Silver.
flavored
Oh,
one.
right. I thought that was...
But there's a bunch of other flavors.
Right, okay,
I prefer
sorry.
it clear and
Just the silver.
just the silver stuff, and then just soda. It's also just doesn't, because if the amount of times you drink, it's the amount of sugar intake you take. So tequila has almost 0 calories, and then soda water. Then you're not
What
taking.
is the drinking culture like in South Africa?
It's crazy because during lockdown,
Yeah.
they actually shut down the liquor stores and the pubs and that kind. So it's
A few times.
Yeah. Because people go, it's nuts. I mean, it influences a lot of things.
Did they stop cigarette sales as well?
Initially, that was the first batch of lockdowns.
Were they trying to start a revolution?
I think
Because that is a dangerous thing to do, isn't it?
there's two things. I think because they thought that the virus affects the lungs mainly, and so they thought like if you smoke, I don't know what. It's also like political stuff, because maybe remember I reckon there's like in the next couple of years bans on stuff like you know how you guys have in the UK, you have the lungs on the pack of cigarettes.
Oh, they're a delight, yeah.
Yes. So we don't have that. We just have the small warning.
Oh, okay.
And so I think there's always like those so the government's like, we want to put that. I don't know.
Oh, the next step for UK fags is when you open it up, it'll be like a letter on Harry Potter that goes, "Ah!" That's literally, it's getting that frightening.
I used to do a routine about how we should take all other health issues and treat it like we do smoking. So like there should be pictures on other things that are bad for you that warn you about that. Like on a Big Mac box, it should be like a man who just misses his bus. Like he's just like 30 seconds
Sweat
late.
under his tits.
He's like, I'm gonna have to wait an hour for this now.
But they banned booze. For how long?
I mean, it was a couple of months. I mean, you could get booze if you know. I was able to get booze all the time.
Did you have a booze dealer?
Fuck yeah. It was crazy.
You have to ring a guy and he drops off a bottle of fucking tequila.
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, that's what I did.
Who was your booze dealer? Was it a drug dealer just adapted?
Nah, it was a friend who owned a restaurant.
Oh, that makes sense.
And then so we would just go there, have like a couple of, but
when the tequila ran out, did he like try and sell you tiramisu or something like?
it didn't run out.
All right, okay.
He's got like a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Okay.
So you choose what you want. He sends you an invoice. It's all good. Then you just chill at home for like 4 days.
Send you an invoice.
Yeah.
That
you ever had that?
guy's definitely not been a drug dealer, has he?
Have you ever had an invoice from your drug dealer?
Yeah, they really don't like it when you invoice them.
Put a late payment on it.
This is basically research for work. So I'm going to need a receipt, thank you. That will mean you never use that drug dealer ever again.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was tough for me, I don't know, I just didn't know how long it was going to last, so I just had it.
Yeah.
I just had liquor in my house just in case I need, but I wasn't drinking as much during the lockdown, but there were liquor restrictions in South Africa. There were a few other countries, but South Africa was one of them. I think what happens is the health infrastructure had to deal with COVID. And so when people are drinking, there's more road accidents, there's more like domestic violence stuff. And so if people are coming into hospital for those kind of things, that kind of, bombards the infrastructure. And so to stop that, just cut the alcohol. That was the thinking the government was going with.
What I was sort of meant before that. So when we were talking before we started recording, you're looking at coming over here for like a full year, maybe.
Yeah.
But you've visited a few times already and done some TV shows over here.
Yeah.
Like you did Live at the Apollo a few years ago,
yeah.
which we shared with our Patreons earlier today and said, this guy's coming on today if you've got any questions and stuff. What I was sort of asking, when you've been over here before, have you done like a night out? Have you been to the nightclubs in the UK?
It's crazy because I don't really do the night out, like clubbing, only because stand-up is at night as well. Right? So you get off stage at like maybe 11:30. And then after 11, I don't think of the club or that way.
See, I'm the exact opposite of that.
Yeah,
Certainly
same.
when I was a bit younger, it was like, I'm working at night. And then at 11:30, that's probably like the best time to go to a club because it's been open for 2 or 3 hours. And it's just starting to get busy when we finish.
And you've got your adrenaline up for the gig.
And I've got 200 quid in cash.
How old are you, Louis?
I'm 38.
Yes, yeah. These are my people.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
different, isn't it? When you were 25, it might be a bit
at
different.
25, I'll still go. Listen, I haven't been to a club in the UK probably in 2 years.
Right.
I'll go to a thing, like if you say, oh, like I've been to a party where I end up coming home at 4, whatever, but I think it's more got to do with, that I like that particular DJ. They're playing at a place. I'm going to do a gig. As soon as I'm done, they get, I get there. But I wouldn't like...
Well, how does the UK drinking scene, like the nightlife here where we drink to complete excess and there's people
crazy.
sick in the street. How is that in South Africa?
Like if you come... Yeah, it's not as intense, man. I think there's a lot of other things that come into play. It's like, I guess here you get to see it more because people are in the transport system, in the public transport system.
Yeah.
Whereas in South Africa, people like drink and then get into a Uber or whatever and go home. They don't. It's not like here. I remember the first time I went to Edinburgh. It felt like the opening scene on Saving Private Ryan. It was just like bodies everywhere. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the hell's going on? People are throwing up. And so
People with guns.
it was just bizarre. I was like, what the hell's going on? And I think like it's different, man. I think it's the same. I don't know. I have to really think about this.
Yeah.
Because I've observed both and they're slightly different, but I think here they drink too much.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, well, you said tequila. Like, over here, I don't know if I've ever seen anyone just be like, I just have a tequila with soda. Like, tequila is a +1 drink for your booze to get you into... When's tequila? Tequila's like when it's when you're playing catch-up with your mates because you need to get pissed, when a date's going horribly wrong and you want to fucking be boozed up.
Me and my girlfriend had 4 tequilas on our first date.
It's like a catalyst, isn't it?
If you get an expensive tequila, though, it is a sit and sip as well.
Yeah, you can have a good one.
You can do both.
Yeah.
But if you're getting shitty, it's shot.
Yeah, Jose Cuervo.
Yeah, you shot
is a let's get this in me as quick as possible. Whereas a good expensive tequila is like...
Right, but mainly in this country, tequila is for like, shall we get uber pissed?
Mainly, generally, it's for that. That's so, for me, it's just, also, it's the only drink where I wake up in the morning and I don't have a hangover.
See, it's probably the one that gives me the most hangover.
No, for me, if I drink it with soda the whole night, I wake up and I'm fine.
I'm like that with beer. I can drink beer all night. It's when I start drinking
You know what I hate about beer? I pee so much.
Yeah.
Right.
I hate that. Like, I can't just be sitting in one place for 2 hours. Or like if I'm having a beer now, I have to get up at least 3 times in 30 minutes. And I don't like that.
With tequila, you're like a half-cut camel who can just hold it in for ages. You just piss once a fortnight, you sort
I
of...
just keep it in my hump.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about the parody film I want to film, Saving Private Ryan. She's just saving Spike Lisa. You've got to get it through. A load of fellas trying to go, can I touch her? No!
Yeah.
She's had a bad night.
What was the film? Was it 1917 where they just it was one shot, wasn't it? Following them, it was the whole film from the starting the night through the nightclub, just one shot, and then you've got to get home as well. Oh, you got any change? Fucking hell, you've got nice tits.
Trying to get a girl from like Matthew Street through Concert Square and up Bold Street on at 2 a.m. on a Sunday morning, Saturday night.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah,
that would be a 2-hour film.
Yeah. Oh,
Mark Kermode going, was there really a need for a 25-minute taxi rank scene? Like, yeah.
Have you heard the Kanye song with Mos Def, Drunken Hot Girls?
Yeah.
Oh,
we came to what?
Drunken hot girl.
You know that song? Yeah.
good.
It's such a
Sounds great.
It sounds like you didn't know.
Oh, shut up! It's dumb.
That's literally how he says it.
I know.
Song. We came too far for this bullshit just to mess with these drunken hot girls, and that's like that's the hook, and it's great. It just it describes a night. It's like I don't want to talk to your friends. I just want you, you drunken hot girl. So that's also for me. It's also weird. Like I don't get like hammered. So if I'm out, I'm always like, there's a great deal of soberness in me. So if I'm like talking to a girl, most of the time in England, she's fucked out of her mind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, not only do I not, I just don't want you in my house. Like I've got like expensive furniture, you're gonna sit on the wrong thing, you're gonna break it, you're gonna knock bar. I don't want to fuck you in my house. Get out of my, you know what I mean? So it's like a weird.
So you fucked them in the garden and leave them outside?
None of that.
You know
go
you're
home.
38 when you're like, listen, you are smoking hot, but I spent a lot of money on that couch. That's how you know, like, you can come back, but I'm putting the plastic cover back on that bitch.
Women don't like walking into a room with plastic covers all over your furniture, though, because they think they're about to be murdered.
American Psycho.
Right, yeah.
Oh, really?
It's a Dexter scene, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Patrick Bateman.
Just so you don't shit
Either
on it.
murderers or old people. Yeah.
When I was touring in Australia, I met this girl on one of the dating apps, and then at some point we just hit it off, and we were in my house in like 3 hours, which was like a crazy turnaround for me.
Was this so you got to Australia and you were like, I'm going to download the local dating apps? Like that was an away leg?
No, I think the dating apps are pretty
Oh,
universal.
international. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
It's not like Australian Tinder.
Tinder AU.
Forest fire.
Oh, yeah, okay. So
Anyway,
yeah.
so
it's not Aussie
so
girls.
I say to her,
right, okay.
I said, so my nerdy self came in and I said, hey, this is great. This is a great evening. I'm having a good time. I just want to understand your decision making. How was I able to turn this shit around in 3 hours?
Oh, you're doing market research for the next time.
Not necessarily for the next
This
time.
has gone so well. Could you fill in this questionnaire? Because I'd like to fuck a girl in 3 hours next time. What a ledge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would. Well, you put it like that. That's exactly what it is. Because I was just interested. I was like, this is crazy. And she said, you just didn't seem like you were going to murder me. I said, what? She's like, no, safety's she said girls would give it up way quicker if they just felt safe from the beginning.
That's what I'm going to start doing.
I was
if I'm
like,
ever single
oh, shit,
again,
that's so crazy.
I'm going to go up to women in bars and just go, just so you know, I'm not going to murder you.
Well, that's
Just wanna-
that's not gonna work.
I haven't even brought my knives out. That's how much of a gentleman I am. I've left
Search
the
me.
knives.
Search
Yeah.
me.
What was your Tinder bio when you had it?
Get on this. No, I can't remember. I think it was
Was
just...
it UK Tinder?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the UK
all right,
one.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool.
No, it was Liverpool Tinder.
Do you know on Tinder, you can set a worldwide radius?
Right.
Like, you can literally say, like, I will travel the world.
Yeah, go on, because you've got air miles. What?
Yeah.
Right,
No,
okay.
Like, when you download it, it asks you how far you're willing to
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
So, you like... And
all the way.
so I'm sure I've mentioned this before. When I was single, I downloaded Tinder Plus, which is like £9 a month, because then you can set your location.
Yeah.
So what I would do is, if I was going to do a weekend of gigs in Edinburgh, the week before, I would set my location to Edinburgh and start matching and talking to girls for a week, so that I already had 3 of them on the hook by the time I got to Edinburgh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth
My
£9 a month, isn't it?
What?
Did it work out?
Yeah.
Right.
My biggest thing with, I'm not a texter. Like I hate texting.
So what do you do?
It's just like I'll text with someone for 2 days and then my brain goes, ah. And it's not like I don't like him or do like him. It's just I don't like texting. I just because it just distracts me. Like if I'm texting right now, I have to stop the conversation. You know what I mean? I'm not like a multi-tasking person. Tinder story in Australia. So I start texting this girl for maybe like 3 days or whatever, which was my threshold, by the way.
She made it to day 3. This was
Yeah, so it's crazy. So then what happens is, I text and then she doesn't text for like a while. for like maybe like, I don't know, 10 days. On the 10th day, she texts back. And what she says was, while I was texting you, I was talking to 4 other dudes. I go, okay, cool, whatever. I mean, that's what happens. And she says that the dude I decided to go on a date with took me to your show as a date. And when you were 30 minutes into your set, she's like, I made the wrong choice. This is her text. This is her texting me on the thing. And I was like, oh, this is quite crazy. And then she was like, do you want to have coffee? I was like, nah. I mean, I didn't even, I was just like, I don't know why I didn't, but I just was like, I don't care.
But that's not, as much as it is a compliment to your skills as a comedian, that she went on a date.
Now, it's also because I had met someone on the app and I was hanging out with them. And I was having a good time, and I just didn't want like this distraction of another.
But it's not a compliment from her to you.
I didn't care.
Like she decided she wanted this other guy, and then she's put in a situation where he's just another guy, and you're a comedian, and comedians to normal people are superheroes. Yeah. So she sat there with Clark Kent, and Superman's on stage. So that's what's happened. Is she like, why have I chose him over that guy up there?
That wouldn't have been an issue to me. Like, it wasn't an issue. It's literally because I'd met someone else on the apps, and we were hanging out, and I was having a way better time.
This happened to me without the dating app. I had a girl who I noticed at a gig. It was when the Preston Frog was still open. She was like very attractive, and like, you know when you see a girl and there's just really characterful and like big smiles and was loving the show, and she was next to a guy who I honestly, if I try and remember him, I just see a beige sort of, I just didn't focus. She looked fucking great, and I remember thinking, man, she's hot. Like, she was just very smiley. And I got a message that night going, I was on a first date tonight with this guy who I met, I think, on an app, and I spent the whole night watching you thinking I should be on a date with that guy. And I was like, I'm a narcissist, so I was like, thank you, see you. Yeah, I was into it. So we went on a date like the next week. Yeah, because he probably wasn't the worst date ever. But because I was single at the time, I was like, yeah, I'm single. And so she sat there going, well, this date's fine, but this guy seems fun. It's a cheat, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, the stage is a cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a magic trick.
She was bonkers. She was so fun. She was so bonkers.
Have you ever like...
She was sexually bonkers to the point where I was like, I'm not sure. I think I might have been out of my depth here.
Yeah, you.
She was the one that I had sex with, and we ended up smushed up against her wall, and she licked the wall during sex. I'm not joking. She was like, oh, and then went, and it honestly, during sex, like, we were doing that, you know, when you just get in and you've had a couple of beers in you, and you're like, oh, we're just going to do it in her living room. Oh, it's the middle of summer. It was a hot night, and the wall must have been cold. So she was like, and I watched it, and I was like, wow, we're really jammed up against this wall. And then she went,
what were you doing this for?
And no, like, I don't know. She was like this. And
Woo!
I was singing Bollywood songs. Ding-a, ding-a, ding-a. And yeah, she licked the wall. And then I tried to tell it on stage a few times after we split up, inevitably. And I did such a bad job of it. Just going, and then she licked the wall. And I ended up in my Edinburgh show, because I did a bit about Kevin Hart and how Kevin Hart just, and his support acts, that when I saw them, just sold every bit. And I was like, that's why it's rubbish being a white Lancastrian British comedian. If you're a black American comedian, that lick the wall bit would be so much better. And then the bitch licked the wall to the window, to the wall. I loved it. But yeah, she licked the wall.
I've never had that.
Shout out. I hope she's not watching.
Shout out. I've never had that. Even like with partners.
You never had a wall lick?
No, I don't mean that. I mean, I've never had a wall lick. What I mean is, I've never been like sexually intimidated by a woman.
Oh, really?
Like,
Really?
I've never had a woman who's said something like, we're doing this, where I've gone, I don't know about that. Apart from pegging, I was asked, could she peg me? And I was like, I'm not getting bummed. It's not happening. You're not bumming me. No. But other than that, like, there's never been a woman who's like being like, you know, do this, and I've been like, oh, I'm not doing that to you. I'll do fucking anything.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. Like, it's just, I get anxious during sex, man.
What?
During sex?
Just like anxious, like, oh, is this gonna go well? I do, and I'm just if I'm doing it with someone for the first time. There's an anxiety that kicks in that I can't explain. I can't. I don't know.
And then the instinct is to be like, "Are you enjoying this?" And it's the least sexy thing. Are you having a good time? No girl wants that level of consider. They want a bit of wall smush, don't they?
But what they want, you don't have to ask it.
They don't ask me how I'm doing. Make me lick a fucking wall.
You say, "Do you like that, you dirty bitch?" They like being asked it forcefully like that.
I think first bonk. That's a high risk move.
I think that these things are not copy and paste. People are very different, so whatever works on one person.
Well, what Adam thinks is every girl, when you have sex with her for the first time, you should say, "Do you like that, you dirty bitch?" And blanket rule, every woman loves that.
Go on.
Go on. Oh, shit.
I hope I don't get in trouble for telling this story. The first time
that's exactly what's going to happen. Because you haven't told that. No. The reason you haven't told that story is because you know how crazy it is and you're going to get in trouble. And so when you think about it and say, I hope it's definitely what's going to happen.
Don't give him anxiety. Don't give him your sex anxiety during the story.
When you tell the story, what you think is going to happen is exactly what's going to happen. Go.
No, but she's quite sound. So when the first time I slept with Sam, I slapped her across the face.
Hey.
With your dick?
No.
Oh.
Like with me hand.
Were you on top?
Yeah. Like as hard as I could as well. Like we were having sex.
After 4 tequilas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we was getting into it.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what? Let's find out what she's into. And my first step on that ladder was...
First?
And she went, I don't like that. And I was like, all right, no worries. And we carried on.
Right.
In the face?
No, you didn't.
I believe him.
I swear on the grave of Aran. I slapped her across the face and she just went...
I don't think you should ever talk about your mum when you're talking about fucking a girl and slapping her on the face.
Did you slap her ass first?
Probably.
Right.
What, like you were doing a fucking pat down at security at an airport? Do you like that? Do you like your ankle? What about your fucking shin? What about your thigh? What about your fucking feet? No, that's too far. Slap me tummy, but not me face. No, you didn't.
Didn't she slap you back? No.
No, she just went, I'm not really into that. And it was literally like a quick like admin check. It was like, nah. And I was like, okay, cool. And then we carried on.
Press charges. Good. Good.
She moved in.
Sometimes when women go, I'm not really into that, they involve the police and it gets complicated.
Yeah, but it wasn't me dick being in it that she didn't like. It was the slap.
Yeah.
She was just like, no, not for me. And I was like, do you know what? Fair enough. We tried something, didn't work. And the next day, I swear to God...
that wouldn't fly in court. I tried this murder thing, Your Honor. Didn't work out. I'm just saying, let's move on from here and let bygones be bygones.
The next day, she told her mate, she was like, he fucking slapped me right across the face. And her mate went, you lucky bitch. Because her mate's into that. So see?
Yeah.
Some of them like it, some of them don't.
Lots of ladies like
Yes, you can't copy and paste, man.
Yeah. lads, if you're watching... Don't listen to Rowie Bags here.
This is not advice.
This is not advice.
Are you into getting slapped?
What?
Are you in? No.
No.
It's emasculating.
No, he just likes hitting women. No? Or gives it a try at least. What are you into? Dead leg.
Could you ever be submissive?
Punch her in... What?
I'm asking if you could ever be submissive. No, in sex, not in life.
I think... I'd give it a go. But I'd have to.
Yeah, but you can't say on your terms because that's not being
no, that's what I mean. It'd be go hard or go home.
Oh, right.
Don't fucking be like.
Oh yeah.
Like, you know.
Could I ask a question? Would you ever wear a saddle?
Would you let someone?
I've been tied down.
Holy.
Mate, I'm sorry you had to witness this. We've done a lot of episodes and I'm learning a lot from this.
Oh, is it the first time you
First date slap? Get a fucking saddle on me. Ride me like a little pony. That's right. Oh, I'm a naughty pony. Oh, it's the Grand National, Sam. Come on. Oh, hey, next furlong, do you want me to win? Oh, you've got me at a canter. Get me at a gallop, you dirty bitch. Nay, that's not no. I am consenting.
Oh, like red rum.
Nay means nay.
I've been tied
So you
up.
have been submissive then? Have you been tied down?
No.
Tied up or tied down?
Tied up.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Bit more positive.
I've been restrained.
like a Tom and Jerry
so that-
villain.
I've been restrained so that she could suck me off without me being it.
Without you slapping her. What is going on? How? Mate, I'm so glad that you've been the catalyst for bringing this out. This is all...
Am I unearthing?
Oh, this is new.
I don't know. It's so crazy. Like, I don't really talk about sex on stage at all. I don't know. I'm not comfortable enough.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just don't even. And I've got like such funny bits about like, not necessarily experience, just like things I think about. Like when a person says, don't stop. I'm like, yeah, but, you know what I mean? Like, when you just go, don't stop. Then you go, I had no intentions of stopping. Why would you say that? Like, I don't.
Keep going. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also like the shit like keep going. You like, bitch, I'm trying to I'm trying to pleasure you here. Can you just shut the fuck up and let me that's why I get anxious.
I know what I'm doing.
Not necessarily I know what I'm doing, but I'm more like I'm trying my best over here. And you're the worst cheerleader. I tell you that.
Be better. Keep going, but do it better. Yeah, that's no one needs that. Is there a lot of, on the South African comedy scene, you don't do the sex stand-up.
It's a personal thing. I don't do it anywhere.
Is there a lot of guys on the circuit in South Africa doing the sex stuff?
There's guys who do it, and they talk about those. I don't know why. Maybe like there's a conservative side to me, which if you watch me on stage, you'd think that doesn't exist, but I think somewhere it does.
No, but you give off a very sort of cool, calm, confident persona on stage. You're very in control on stage.
Yeah, but not in life.
Well, maybe that's why.
I don't know. I think like I've been doing stand-up so long.
How long you been doing it?
I started when I was 17.
Wow. 21 years.
I'm 38 now. So I'm confident on stage, especially if I've thought of the ideas and the ideas are fully fledged in my mind. I could deliver them like...
Yes, 21 years, isn't it? That's what I'll do.
Well,
second nature.
Well, the joke has to be fully fledged is what I mean.
Okay.
So sometimes there was a time where I used to know what was funny. Because as humans, we know what's funny. Kids know what's funny. They don't know, but they know it because they understand how the world functions. It's part of being human, right? But they don't, the minute you go, that's what I find funny. That's the changing point for me. So now, like, I think the only thing I've learned in 20 years is what do I find funny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can tell that.
You want to be the comedian that you would want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a joke of yours. I almost punched you in the face. It was so good. The one about, yeah, but you can't be that woman.
The Victoria's Secret routine.
Oh, I was like, that joke is, it's glaring at everyone. And the first person to spot it and to deliver it the way it's supposed to be is,
aren't they the best jokes when you're like, oh, I've seen that.
Yeah,
I could have had that thought.
He has one of those, and he's like, yeah, I hear you. I support.
Do you reckon that's your best joke?
What?
Do you reckon that's your best joke you've ever written?
Not
favourite, I mean, like...
I just love...
Both, yeah.
I just love that joke, man.
Yeah, but the slapping women bit hasn't been done on stage yet, so
No.
I'll
try that next week.
Let's see.
With that routine,
Open with it.
I enjoyed doing it because it was the first opinionated bit of stand-up that I managed to make work in on tour shows, in clubs. I managed, because before that I was largely a storytelling comic, and it was the first time I was like, here's what I think, and got it to work. But also, it's the routine that comedians tell me they like. which is a big thing for me. I want my peers to think I'm good.
Yeah.
So when other comics are like that routine, and like big promoters are like that bit. Like I remember Brett Vincent, who books so many comedy shows and has worked with some of the biggest comedians in the world. I think he's still Jim Jeffries' UK agent today. And he's got some clients in America as well as over there. He come up to me in Edinburgh and he'd seen me at the store a few months before and he was like, you still doing your Victoria's Secret thing? Is that part of your show this year? And I was like, yeah. He was like, and someone asked him about it. He was like, oh, I seen him at the store. It's just, that was the bit that I felt, oh, maybe I can go into doing more opinionated stuff.
What was your first set piece bit where you were like, this is a proper bit of stuff? Because when you start at 17, you're young and it's early on.
I'm young. I think I just did a special, and in my special,
Specials on Netflix?
Yeah. So I did a special on Netflix that came out in March. Now, here's the crazy thing about that special is it's like I respect storytellers because we all hone stand-up from the clubs, and in clubs, they don't have time for your stories. Oh, I mean, none. They don't give a shit. They don't give a
the best Scouse accents anyone has done on this podcast ever.
So you become very punchy.
Yeah.
You develop a routine and it's punchy and it's punchy and it's punchy. And then when you have an hour, you kind of step back and go, nah, but I want to tell you more things.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're funny and punchy, you can't do it for after 40 minutes. The audience, you can make an audience laugh so hard that they're like, we're tired now. Can you tell us something?
You got to build it out.
Yeah. So I've seen that where you're like, oh, I'm gonna write a punchy hour, and then when you're 45 minutes in, they're like, yeah, we get it. You're funny, man.
Yeah. We need something else now. We need something a bit more.
And so for me, that's when I realized, oh no, people also find value in you being interesting on stage. So when I started telling them interesting things that I just, I was telling I want to tell this on stage, but I was telling my agent yesterday, when I was born, like my mom was telling the story at my brother's birthday earlier this year. And when I was born in 83, and my mom, when she was pregnant with me, she was like reading up on pregnancy stuff. And quite obviously she ended up in some like bizarre pregnancy stories, like kids born with 3 heads and all kinds of things happening. And so on the day of her labor, the doctor felt her tummy and was like, we feel 2 heads. Then she's in labor and she starts freaking the fuck out. And she goes, oh my God, it's a third head. And then she's like, oh my God, this is happening to me. But it turns out, this is a crazy story. I was such a tall kid that when I was sitting like this, and when you felt my knees, 3 heads.
I love it how that doctor went 3 heads before he went a head and 2 big knees.
No, it's because kids weren't that big.
Right.
I was a big kid. Like I'm 6'5" right now, so you can imagine me. And also it's 80 feet. I don't really have the technology to decipher these things immediately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, if I could turn that bit into a funny thing on stage, I would have accomplished something.
Yeah, that's not a weekend pow. That's a tell the story, set the scene, your mum and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and so if you like creating an audience base, they would appreciate that story from you because they feel.
You're right about being interesting. When we watched your Apollo set, it was great. Just like I have seen comedians talk about Blackpool a lot since I've started stand-up. And I'm like, Matt, you literally, for me, I don't think anyone's got a bit about Blackpool that I haven't seen some variation of.
I don't even...
But you as a South African comedian talking about being a black guy in a hotel room with a white cleaner, like that is both funny and interesting, isn't it? Because your perspective is completely new to this country. It was I absolutely love that bit. It's fucking great.
This is what I hate. It's so crazy. Okay, so... when I did that Apollo set, I realized that I talk about being South African a lot, which is fine because that's my perspective. But then it creates a situation where you're still an outsider, right? And so it doesn't matter. And it's not race-based. you're an outsider. Even if I talk to British black acts, I'm still outside of the main culture of Black Britain, right? So I'll always be an outsider. And so now I go, in my mind, I can headline anywhere in Britain. If you can put me behind any act, I don't think I would shit myself. I'd be able to, like, I can handle it, right? So then I go, how do I get out of this outsiderness?
How do you become?
Yeah, how do I become like? And I'm. It's not a matter of inclusion per se. It's about like so the way you. What you observing is very clear and obvious that my perspective is different, and to turn that perspective into something funny is something I still have to do. But how do I then turn this South African view to just being generally funny and not going, but in South Africa, we.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so for me, I'm taping a live at the Apollo again, and I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about it, but I don't think it matters. But the whole routine doesn't talk about that. The routine is about just general stuff.
And just so that very consciously.
It's very conscious because because the hope is that if people watch you, and out of the whole routine, I talk about race and my being as a South African in a tiny way, like in a very small way. It's not a big part of the thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully, the audience will not other me.
Yeah.
I think if we went over to South Africa and started gigging, the first round of sets that we did would be a lot of like, hey, we're from England.
Yeah,
and I tell you what's different over here. Like, then when you adapt, you change and like you grow out of it.
Nah, I understand what you're saying, and what you're saying is correct. But I'm saying that I'm dope.
You don't need to be South African.
I don't need to be that.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So if I keep doing that, then people go,
You don't want to be
other guy.
you don't want to be the guy who gives the South African perspective on Britain. You want to be the guy who just gives a perspective on Britain.
Yeah.
You want to be here's not something a South African has noticed. Here's something we've all noticed.
Yeah. And so my perspective is definitely different because I'm South African, but I just don't like being othered. I don't like being othered. I don't like being othered by motherfuckers who are not funnier than me.
Do you know there's so many knobheads that look like me on the UK circuit? I'd love to be othered. I would love to be a minority.
I don't want to be othered. I'm like,
great.
my perspective is different, but don't other me because, you know.
How would we do in South Africa if we came over to do some gigs? What's the scene like? I'm fascinated by, like...
You got to go, man. I mean, you got to go there. There's a scene. It's just...
Clubs in Cape Town, clubs in Johannesburg.
Cape Town Comedy Club, and there's Parker's.
There's Parker's. Parker's is all shut down, all of them.
Oh, really?
Will they come back?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
I have no idea. There's clubs, man. I mean, listen, New York and London, America and the UK, but New York and London specifically, are the places to do stand-up. It doesn't matter. So if you're asking how's comedy in South Africa, you're as good as asking how's comedy in Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's a much smaller scene.
Yeah, it's a much smaller scene, and
yeah, but we live in Runcorn. We work in Runcorn, so we're used to a smaller scene.
Yeah, but you have access to London. You can be in London in 2 hours.
But and we also have, there's a gig that you can find within an hour every night of the week.
Of course,
we are blessed around here. It is a great
Hot
scene.
Water in Liverpool is at the minute it's open Wednesday through Sunday. It's normally open 7 days a week, and to have that as a home club is massive. Like Liverpool and the Northwest in general is becoming a second London. And I've said before, I actually think eventually comedy will slowly move out of London towards the north of England because it's a lot cheaper to live there, and comedians generally don't earn a good living until they're earning a great one.
You can do it without flying as well. You can get round the country, can't you?
Yeah, it's the difference between like being a road comic over here and a road comic in America. Someone who goes on the road in America is away for 6 months.
Yeah.
I can get back from any tour show I ever do in the UK
Yeah.
by driving that night.
Yeah, a can of Red Bull and a
home.
full tank
And
of
so-
petrol.
Dude, I tell English people every time they ask me what's so great about England and they want to hear culture, I'm like, it's the transport infrastructure.
What?
I swear to
You
God.
think we've got good transport?
You just said you can go on the road and come back the same night. Do you
but
think you can do that anywhere?
That's only in a car.
Nah, you could do it. I could, if I'm in London, I can go do shows in Birmingham and come back same night, sleep at my house every night.
Yeah, but
that transport infrastructure is not available anywhere in the world.
right.
Yeah, but like,
It's you talking from a person. I'm telling you, bro. I am absolutely telling you.
I've got transport privilege. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I'm not aware of my transport
Absolutely.
privilege.
Bro, I was in London just now. I'm like, I had to travel for 3 hours and I'm here and I'll be home by tonight. That's a very rare thing generally in the world.
So South Africa, it's not. There's just nothing.
This is not even specific to South Africa.
This is
This is a general thing. Trust me when I say this. It's not that simple to get around.
You're asking
all around
British
the world.
people to say that the roads are good. They're not. They almost can't do it. Like the M6. Loyiso, you've not been on the M6. It's a fucking nightmare.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about
No, I know.
the general infrastructure. It's fantastic. I can go watch a football game across town and be home it's the easiest thing. You
Yeah.
can do it pissed as well.
Yeah, you can get home.
Tequila and soda on the tube. Gentlemen, this guy's classy.
I do like what you're saying about others, like being othered and stuff. It's on a much smaller scale, but I remember a couple of years into doing stand-up, I went down to Comedia in Brighton and I did my set and I smashed it doing the open spot, just twatted it for 10 minutes. And I come off and Stephen Grant, who's the resident compere and like books the club, he was on. And I said, do you mind if I ask you for some feedback and whatever? And he went, yeah. He said, you know you've just had a good set. He said, but you're being a Scouse comedian rather than a comedian. You're a Liverpool comic. And you're doing Scousisms and you're not really doing anything or saying anything that every other Scouse comedian who's come here down the years has said. He said, I couldn't put you on the same bill as Chris Cairns because it's the same sort of thing. You're not saying the same jokes, but you've both got a Scouse perspective on what it's like to be a person.
Right.
And he went, if you want to develop, stop doing that. And from my next gig onwards, I stopped going, I'm Adam, I'm from Liverpool. I don't mention it. If someone goes, oh, he's a Scouser, then I'll do a little thing for 20 seconds if I need to. But for a few years, when I started out, the first 5 minutes was, I'm from Liverpool. Here's why that's a thing. And
I used to say Northern all the time. Northern. I'm from the north of England. And the problem is, if there's another guy who's trading on that, and it is a bit hack, you've become a typecast, haven't you? Rather than just being yourself. Same if you're a disabled act and you just do jokes about disability, or you're Asian and it's all about, or a fat guy who's just doing fat jokes. Where is the actual observation? Where's your storytelling that goes beyond the first read of who you are? It's more interesting when you get into the nuts and bolts of what you're into and like you said, what you actually think is funny rather than playing to that character.
Yeah. So now I'm getting out of there, but I also I did some shows with a British act and I was at home and I was killing, and then he says, oh, it's good to have home ground advantage, huh? And I looked at him, I said, you couldn't follow me
in
on
Amsterdam.
Instagram.
Oh my God.
Like, I was just like, what are you talking about? You never, what? You don't
He said this to you face to face?
Nah, because in his mind, he othered me.
Right.
He forgot about the sheer dexterity of what I'm doing. He othered me. I was like, bro, I can go to Singapore and you couldn't follow me. I use Singapore a lot as a reference. I don't know why. It's just the first country that pops out in my mind. But I'm just saying it, And
Actually, the first one you used before was Hong Kong, but it's easy to get them confused.
You're moving around Asia.
yeah, I think my next one is Taiwan.
The international gigs really find out your references, don't they? When you're abroad, you're like, oh wow, these are a bit local. Like
But
if you're
also-
used to doing your set internationally, you get rid of all those things.
Yeah, but for me, what I find about Britain as well is that people like to keep you in your place.
Yeah.
Oh, that felt uncomfortable. That just for a second there, didn't it? when you're over here, I like to be kept. I really,
like,
that's not.
so,
I don't feel that's a good
so
thing
they don't,
for us.
like in America, acts are like, yo, I'm dope, I'm good, I'm listening. Here, you kind of have to wait your turn, and you're like,
Oh,
nah,
okay.
man.
No, all right. No, you mean, yeah.
So there's like this weird thing of like, we gotta be grateful, and you're like, nah.
I've had this so I've been doing stand-up 11 years. I'm 29. And I've had that, we've spoke about it on this podcast before. So when I started, I've got insecurities like everyone else has. But I've always been, when I started stand-up, although I look back at the material now and think it was shit, I started well. And it was something I knew I wanted to do and I felt like I was good at, and I've gradually sort of got better and whatever. But I've always been that I'm doing this, I'm good at it, come and see me.
Right.
And the amount of bitching behind my back and in front of my face as well, where it's like, you like to shout about your talents, you like to shout about this. And it's all been meh from people who at the time were slightly ahead of me. And now those same people, because they've seen the fruits of that labour, are now asking for advice on how to do it. Because it's so weird. Comedians, there's an old Johnny Vegas quote, which is, just by getting on stage, the statement you're making is, I am so funny, you should pay to listen to me.
Right.
Just by picking the mic up before you've said a word, that's your statement. And despite that, especially in Britain, and I think this is what you were talking about, is this idea that you should shrink.
Yeah, all the time.
Yeah, rather than being
So
like, no, I'm
the
fucking
first time,
good.
The first time I was like, oh, I fuck with Adam. Me, you, and Kay we did this Top Secret, and we went around the corner to the Hoxton, and we sat there for like 3 hours just laughing. And we were all on the same page of like, we don't have to wait for these motherfuckers.
No.
We just have to keep going. And that, you know, we kind of went our different ways. And I think I never like, everyone was like, nah, let's just keep going. Whatever we're doing, let's keep going. So all of us are kind of like gradually doing better and better.
Do you think there's a sense that over here, you came over here and it was like you just not served your time or something?
Yeah,
No,
but
I think what he means
we're not in medicine. I don't have to fucking do 40 years before.
Oh, I totally agree.
Yeah,
I'm just
it's not
I'm
medicine.
almost sad that you came over here and felt, because I know that's existed, but I thought I'm just sad that someone started gigging over here and still feels that, because I thought that changed a little bit. Like,
no, but I think sort of what he's getting at is, if you look at like Andrew Schultz is, I'm fucking great. My fans are the best. I'm really funny. Let's fucking go. And there's a lot more of that in America, where it's like, no, I'm fucking good. I'm good.
Yeah.
And that's accepted over there. And over here, it's sort of sneered at. Like, Loyiso's sat there going, I'm dope. I'm fucking good at this thing. I can fucking do this job. That's what I can do. And
Adam's getting me fired up.
And that's okay for him and in America. But over here, if you do that, like I have always done, and like K Kurd does.
Yo, K Kurd does it as well.
Yeah, like people look at you like, ugh, why are you confident in yourself?
Surely they don't anymore.
No, they do.
still do.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not hearing it anymore because you sit there with me.
No. There's a general concept, but you gotta. The cool thing about when you say it, you gotta be able to back it up all the time. And if you can back it up so I don't know what it means in the long term, but I'm saying that I don't like shrinking myself. I don't like playing it down and being like, oh no, I'll try. I'm like, you couldn't follow me. I don't care. Tell all the stories about your nan. You're not gonna follow me.
I love it that you've worked out that that's the hacky bit. I love it.
Yeah, it's just like I don't give a shit about your nan. I don't. These kids don't care about it, and yeah, I don't like. I approach it with such an aggression that it's really uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable for like a lot of people, like if we're sharing a stage, because what we do is pretend like we're not competing.
Yeah.
And I look at you, I go,
right now? I want to do a gig where I've got to follow him. I'm sat here going,
I want a situation where I'm like, I go on stage and I'm so scared to go on. Yeah, have you ever heard Chris Rock talk about Martin Lawrence becoming his opening act? And he said he was chilling, just hanging back. And then he jumped up because he heard a commotion and he thought there was a fight and people were going crazy in the crowd. And then when he looked, Martin Lawrence was making them laugh so hard. and it was his opening act, and he was like, I gotta go home. I know I'm on tour and whatever, but I gotta go home and write. And so you gotta feel like that all the time. You gotta feel like I can't follow that guy. I gotta get better. But this shit of like, you know, me nan, and he's like, bro, no one gives a fuck about your nan, bro.
What if she's northern? My northern nan. I've written at least 3 bits about my northern nan.
I feel like Loyiso's research for this was watching Christopher Maloney's X Factor video.
Oh my God, man. You've come to Runcorn and you're doing like that. So many acts are doing exactly what you say.
I'm much better.
Fuck your nan.
I'm much better on a better bill because you have to up your game.
Yeah.
I'll perform more. I'll ad-lib more. I'll tag more. I'll put more energy into it. Like, I'm competitive. So if I've got to follow you, I'm better following you than I am following someone's shit. So if I'm following someone's shit, I'm like, I just put this in 3rd gear and I can just chill.
I'm cool, yeah.
I can fuck
You
around.
get a bit of Chris Rock.
Yeah. If I need someone to, like, last year at Hot Water when you did the middle, he did the. You haven't seen Dan yet? You haven't worked together? He's frightening.
I've got this great bit about my nan. I open and close with it. That's my style.
It's a 20-minute bit.
You know what the crazy thing is? I get like a bunch of opportunities and I just go, it's not stand-up. I'm obsessed with stand-up. I'm obsessed with turning things into jokes.
Yeah.
And so like I go, I always look at an act. There's 2 ways where I'm like, this guy's not gonna be ever funnier than me, right? If he does something and it's really successful, I go, you be big, but you're not gonna do stand-up better. That's what gets into my mind. And when an act has a baby, I'm like, oh, he's done.
He's got 2.
My career. I've literally been bitching about it in the first half. Gone too soon, my career.
I'm telling you because I'm like this. I got home yesterday at like 1 p.m. and I go, because I was doing shows. And I go, if you even want an inkling of like being able to tell jokes, you got to do it obsessively for a very long time. And if you have kids, that's not the situation. And if you're dating someone, they got to understand that. And if you have, let's say you're
uncomfortable again.
And if you are on like a,
you're not wrong.
if you're on like a really successful thing, that if it's really international, nationally successful, it requires your time. And I don't have any of those things. And my brain just goes, I need to. If I'm in a bus, my brain's going, how do I turn? I have this bit, which I might do at the Live with Hip Hop, but it's like there's a dude with a German Shepherd at the door of the bus. I'm freaked out at German Shepherds. How do I turn this funny? So I can sit for an hour and think about how do I turn that funny. Do you understand what I mean?
You've got that hour.
Because I've got the hour to do it.
Feed a baby or write for this week's panel show.
Or whatever the case is.
Or watch Peppa Pig or have an anxiety attack. yeah, I know what you mean.
So that's my take on these things. There's very few acts who have a successful thing and still are killer on stage. I'm not talking about funny. I'm talking about killer. Where you're like, this guy is killer. And the last guy to do it was Louis C.K. and probably Chappelle. But Chappelle, yeah.
Patrice
was killer, but he didn't have a killer thing. He didn't have a show.
Yeah.
I mean, he guessed it on Open.
Two things.
To do both. I see what you mean. I thought you meant the last people to properly kill
a person who go, I've got this thing. This is one of the biggest things in the world. And I am fire with stand-up comedy. It's impossible.
That's what he's trying to do with this.
No, but how much of your time does this take?
A few hours a week, but it doesn't take any prep. Like I don't prep for this. I'm lucky. I turn up and do,
it's a very.
I'm watching Peppa Pig and crying. I'm doing the prep. I'm writing nan jokes.
Break time?
Yeah, we need a break. Love that. Let's have a little word from the money cunts.
What's happening, guys? Are you on board the CBD oil train yet? Whether you are or you aren't, you should head to supremecbd.uk, one of the official sponsors of the Have a Word podcast, and get yourself some premium CBD oil product, from gummy bears to the oil itself. This stuff has got a million uses. It can help with anxiety. It can help you sleep. It can help with aches and pains. It's really, really brilliant. It's been helping me and a lot of other people. Now, if you go to supremecbd.uk and use the special promo code WORD, that's WORD, you get 30% off everything you order, and they slide us a little bit of money for sending you their way. That's how sponsorship works. They sponsor the podcast, we push you their way. It's a money game, baby, but you're going to get money off your CBD. And what's better than money off? Nothing. Go get it. supremecbd.uk. Lego.
Right,
we do some Have a Word.
We did a chunk there, didn't we?
We did, but a good chunk. Enjoyed it.
Have a word with Adam and Dan.
Mr. Gola, we our title feature. People write in and ask us to have a word with their friends.
Okay.
Right, sorry, I thought you explained. Just enjoying it. I'm just enjoying it.
You're just vibing?
Just vibing.
Because you can't hear the music.
Oh, yeah.
He's dancing. He's not dancing to what you're saying.
Are we doing it? Oh, God, I'm getting emotional. I'm just so proud of what we've achieved, guys. Thank you for being here. Right. Eyelids, please have a word with people slagging off James Corden every time he's casting a film or does something new. It pisses me off no end that the Twitter bandwagon get jumped on every time he is announced as being in something. Why can't people just be straight up and admit that they're just jealous of the fact he's done what he needed to do to break America? Boils my piss how unoriginal it is to slag him off when he's so clearly just doing everything to be successful as a mainstream, semi-family friendly US TV host. Nice one. So there's also the layer of he's got a reputation just recently of being a bit of a knobhead.
Yeah.
But it was a few years ago I started getting wound up by James Corden, and it's really that momentum has grown. We don't mention him a lot, but he's a massive story in terms of,
do you know what's
he came from
weird?
Gavin and Stacey, and now he's on one of the biggest American TV shows.
Well, I used to be like this guy who's written in. I didn't get it. I didn't get why he upset so many people. I was like, I don't really understand it. Gavin and Stacey's brilliant. Like the sketches he did for like Sport Relief, where he was the coach of the England team, and with Paula Radcliffe in the speech, was funny. Why does everyone hate him? And I sort of asked that question online. I did it on like Twitter or Facebook or somewhere. And I just got sent a few things. And as soon as a few of them add up, and the big thing apparently, which is, you know, this is all allegedly, is that there's allegations of him being a bit of an Ellen. Like, really smiling. Hey, I'm Mr. He's a lesbian, yeah.
There's rumours he is a male lesbian. And they're not popular.
Which is fine. You know, he can be whatever he wants to be.
Yeah. You can't identify as a lesbian if you're a man, though, can you?
You can.
Okay.
I generally don't care if people are nice or not. I don't think that's, like, if they...
Do you care if they're lesbians?
I don't give a shit.
That's good. I'm glad you deflected that one. I was being a knobhead, but I'm glad you
don't give a shit. It's like Alex Ferguson was a...
lesbian. Sorry. He had the haircut.
But Alex Ferguson was one of those people, you know? If you, like, really... But yeah, he was able to, you know, change the whole trajectory of a club.
But he wasn't pretending to be a nice guy.
Why is it a difference if he's
Because
pretending or not? The action is one. It's one action.
No, but I think presenting yourself as one way when you're not that at all. It's cynical because he's pretending to be a nice guy. This is all allegedly. He's pretending to be a good guy. And I'm Mr. Nice Guy, like me.
Yes.
And in reality, he's a gobshite, a twat, horrible to his staff, awful to people who he deems to be below him. I think if you're going to, like, own it, say it with your chest and be you. If you're Alex Ferguson, look, I'm one of the greatest managers of all time, arguably. So I command this respect, and I don't have to be a nice guy because I'm Alex Ferguson and I'm a great manager. James Corden isn't going, I'm a twat, still watch my show. He's pretending to be the everyman to get
Yeah,
fans.
but I don't. Okay, that could be the case, but I don't think the average human being who's saying James Corden is whatever he is has had that experience with him.
No, that's true. They're jumping
So
on.
how
They're
do
jumping
we-
on a bandwagon. Aren't
Yeah, so how that it's
Because he's in
interesting.
everything. It's in every. He's always in your face. He's in every. He's one of the voices in Trolls, and then he pops in something else. He's on. Honestly, my daughter watches a lot of like the films that come up, the Hollywood animated films, and you're like, in your head, you're like, oh, it's not, is it? Oh, it's fucking James Corden playing a fucking panda or something. Just say no to one script, you greedy fuck. And then when you get annoyed with him, like this guy, he's obviously reacting to the people getting pissed off. When the rumours of him being a dick start coming around, then it's easy to be like,
man.
he's a cunt.
Nah,
No?
man.
Just being oversubscribed and
okay.
then some rumours is enough, is it not?
Sometimes it's just you're caught up in a narrative and that's it. It's not necessarily a connection between your behavior and.
But it is in Ellen's case, because Ellen she was like daytime. She's almost the new Oprah, isn't she? She's that mainstream, tens of millions of viewers. It doesn't work. She's got kids coming on, and there's a kid went viral.
Oprah.
There's a kid went viral with a song, and we got her on, and here she is with the dad.
Man.
And then if it turns out she's a bully behind the scenes, people don't like that hypocrisy, do they?
Yeah, I mean, I get why people don't like it. I myself don't care. I'm just like, whatever. I think things can exist in compartments, and things can exist. You could be a smiley person. You could be a rapper who talks about shooting people, and you don't really shoot people. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't care. As long as I like what you do, I think what human beings have to understand is that some of these things don't have to coexist. I'll give you an example. Like Louis, his scandal comes out, and his scandal's bad, but think of like the woke culture, right? Have you ever watched Louis' show?
Yeah.
On Louis' show, he has a black woman as his wife. Now, this is before we start talking about inclusion, in an interview they asked him, why do you have a black wife and two blue-eyed kids? And he said, when I auditioned people, she was literally the best person for the gig. And I just put her, it's the most bizarre thing when you watch it. It's my wife, it's two kids.
Yeah. They look adopted.
Now, so once we start saying people are bad or good, you miss the nuance.
Yeah.
So we have to go, yeah, people are going to be good. Yeah, people are going to be bad. Yeah, but it's complicated. It's not black and white. People can be bad. I'm sure if you looked up Jesus's Instagram or browser history, you'd be like,
Let me just get it up.
Well,
Only has 12 followers.
I started writing a routine that I haven't quite got round to trying on stage yet. So I was walking through a park in Liverpool, right? And I've told you this story, haven't I?
I love how many jokes get trampled on. It's so funny. I just trampled on one of yours. You just trampled on one of mine. That was beautifully 1-0. Go on, sorry.
I was walking through
it's a draw.
Yeah, it's a draw.
I was walking through the park in Liverpool, and there was a guy, with a Bible, shouting Bible verses. And these two lads walked past him, and they shouted at the guy with the Bible, Jesus used prostitutes. And the idea I'm trying to turn into a routine is these have found a way to cancel Jesus in their own reality.
Yeah.
The Son of God is fallible. The Son of God has got a flaw. The Son of God did something wrong. And therefore, I'm not listening to what any of the good he did. I don't care if he fed all those people. I don't care if he healed the dying or whatever. He used prostitutes. So for me, fuck you, fuck your book. I'm carrying on through the park. And
where does the line get drawn there? And he didn't recycle, probably. Disgusting.
Is using prostitutes a bad thing?
What? Whew. That's another conversation, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, so what I'm saying is your wokus, your friend, your wokus TV executive would find that an absurd thing to do. The person where Louis went against the narrative of his whole show. Just had a black wife, two white kids, blonde eye, blue, blonde, blue-eyed, and we just had to deal with it.
Yeah.
And that is pretty much probably the wokest thing that you've seen on TV.
Groundbreaking in a way.
But he's also into weird shit that, you know what I mean? Whatever the situation is. So human beings are complicated. And I'm not condoning, I'm just saying, let's observe the complexities of humans as opposed to these people are bad and these people are good.
You're right, yeah. But the hypocrisy will, if you're a family man and you make money from being the family man, when it turns out you've been banging a stripper, people don't like it, do they? You could still be a great family man and you could have been lovely to the girl you met in a nightclub or whatever, but it's the lie, it's the hypocrisy of like, hey, I'm a family guy, I'm on Instagram and we've done adverts, and you know, as soon as people find the lie and the hypocrisy, that makes people
But I actually think you sort of agree with each other, and it's the way we're talking about it. So that family guy, if you present your image as, I love my wife, I love my kids, this is who I am, and you know, we're the Joneses, and like, this is who I am, and I'm that good guy. If you're banging strippers, this was all nonsense. This is all not true. Not
necessarily. Okay, I'll give you an example. I'm having a conversation with my mom, and she's telling me about the new Miss South Africa. This beautiful woman, she's amazing. And then she says humble as our previous Miss South Africa. And then I went, humble people never enter Miss South Africa.
Yeah.
Human beings don't compute the things as I'm like, if you're no humble person wants to walk into a room with what's this thing called?
Sash.
A sash and a crown.
If they come across as humble, it's projected, isn't it?
So
but you can't be a loving husband and be banging all these strippers, is what I'm saying. No, you can't.
You can.
No, you can't.
No, people don't like it. You can. You could probably be a loving husband, but people don't like the lie.
I'm saying that, but the people are being disingenuous to themselves because they are on the spectrum of those kind of behavior as well.
Yeah, strippers are great.
You know what I mean? It's like humans are complicated, man. Humans are complicated. Like, people get their knob sucked. It doesn't matter who the fuck, you know, it doesn't, it's...
You will never work for a tabloid newspaper, will you, sir? If tabloid journalism was like, listen, I know he's been caught banging hookers, but hey, he'd had a drink, and then, you know, humans are complicated. But people like the black and white, even though it is bullshit, because life,
bullshit,
there's a lot of grey in life. But at the point of, if you're on Ellen, if you're doing as much as James Corden's doing, if you're as visible as Louis C.K., it gets very black and white, doesn't it? People make those snap decisions. And you're right, there's so much going on. You can be good in so many ways.
Some people
but
are
you get judged by your low, don't you? You can
Bro,
do so much that's good, but you get judged by that one bad thing.
Yeah, but remember, some people will never experience the amount of power Ellen has. And so they would never even be able to understand what it means to have that kind of power and that kind of authority on people. And so they, in their minds, like, oh, never do that. You're like, you've never even have a tenth of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. That's who there's a, I think it's on Monster. I think it's an old Dylan Moran routine, and it's brilliant.
Love Dylan Moran.
He's one of my favorite comics ever, and that special Monster is for me top 5 of all time. And the routine in it is about whenever a politician gets caught with a big mountain of cocaine and 3 hookers in a hotel room, and he's like, and people go, "Oh no, I'd never do that. I've never had the chance, but I would never do that."
Yeah,
very true.
It's hard to hard to judge people for taking opportunities that you're never going to get given, I suppose, is the point. Mm-hmm. We all like to think it's what I seen someone like a TikTok about this guy there was this, or like an Instagram reel or something, or a longer one. These people were talking about like the left and the right, and how, you know, the left are like, well, you know, on paper, socialism and communism, they're the right thing to do because we should all share and then everyone's got everything. And they're like, yeah, but the problem with that is no one's ever, in any time when communism or socialism has been put in place, the person who's put in charge of it has never, ever, ever behaved well. The absolute power corrupts absolutely. And they always go maniacal and they're like, oh, they're not doing it, kill them, because they're not conforming to the share everything thing.
Yeah.
And he's like, and the idea is that, oh, well, I wouldn't do that. And it's like, you would. You just haven't had the opportunity to do it yet. And that's why it doesn't work.
And most people don't not do bad things because they're good people. It's because they probably have a low risk threshold.
Yeah.
Right? Some people are not, they don't care about getting caught. They're just like, oh, we're going to, you know what I mean? And some people are like, yeah, I don't want to get caught. I'm fine. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, these things are complicated. But I never go, these are good people, these are bad people. I just go, let's hear the whole story.
I think some of it is jealousy. Does it come down to James? There's a bit of jealousy from within the industry that James Corden's done so well. I'm not saying like he's gone over and done what so many UK comedians or actors or whatever he is. He's fucking does everything. He's done brilliantly. Is there a bit of that?
Yeah, maybe.
But it's not just comedians who hate him, it's the average man on Twitter.
Yeah, but the average man hates Russell Kane. Like I've spoke
Russell Kane.
I've spoke to Russell about that because he's sort of very animated on stage, and he's certainly when he got on TV the first time, he had like the young hipster boy haircuts with the tank tops and stuff. Like the working class man in the UK was like, oh, he's that twat off the telly who's always fucking running around.
It's so crazy. The class system plays a big part of people's lives, even like now. Like for instance, like I live in like Hackney side. And so if I invite like a friend and I say, hey, let's meet up, and be like, yo, where are you? Let's find a place. And I find like a fancy place. Or I go, oh, let's go to Soul House, or let's go to, I go, this is fancy. And then
Posh.
or posh or whatever. Upon investigation, be like, oh, this is a working class person. And so it's like, so if you allow the working class person to choose a place to meet, it'll be a pub.
Yeah.
All the time. so in Britain, a big part of how society stays in check is everyone stays in their grid. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people, even if people have made it, they go, no, I'm in a pub for a pint. And you're like, bro, you're a millionaire. Calm the fuck down. You're doing well. Just do all the shit you really want to do. Don't have to fucking conform. You know what I mean?
Let's go somewhere we can check our coats in.
Yeah,
we can afford those places now.
Yeah. Where I come from, it's like people aspire to shit because the masses of black people have not had the opportunity for a long time.
See, we just aspire to be able to stay in the pub longer.
I'd like to be the richest guy in the pub, not the poorest guy in the billionaires club. Fuck that. I want to be the richest motherfucker in my local, not the poorest knobhead in the Tory party.
Dude, I promise you it happens all the time. Oh, they just think, you're like, bro, it's a place that makes sandwiches with cheese. Why is this fancy? Calm down.
It is fancy.
I know it is fancy, but it's not.
You're talking to two of the people who would react like this.
Yeah, but it's not tangibly fancy.
It's not out of reach, is it?
Mate, can I clear?
I'm telling you right now, I bet you those sandwiches are also on seeded bread. It's not Warburton's, is it? No. It was freshly cut that day.
Tory bread.
They brought that bread uncut and cut it themselves. Fuck that. Cut it 3 weeks before you ship it, put it in a brown bag, and I'll buy it 2 days before its sell-by date when it's reduced. And that's with millions in the bank.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
You lying bastard.
I still buy Warburton's.
You're not a millionaire?
I will be.
You won't be buying Warburton's.
What are you going to do if you make a million? Millions. You get to the point where you're millions. What are you going to be? Is that you done with South Africa? You're going to...
Nah, the first thing I will do is that I won't have the internet on my phone.
Really?
Yeah.
Will you just
I have an iPad that has nothing on it.
Will you just pay someone to check it for you?
No, I just won't be on the internet all the time.
Adam, does that ring true with you?
Like, I think, like, if you want to
might buy parts of the internet with my millions.
Have you been on ROWEgram? It's just pictures of Adam's face.
You want to enjoy what you've got, not waste it on the internet, you mean?
Nah, I just don't like being on the internet all the time.
You need to be now.
Huh?
But you need to be.
I kind of need to be now, and I think once I'm done, like, I don't care if Kanye's beefing with Drake. in that kind of, if I find out, oh, it's nice.
What side do you fall on the Kanye Drake?
I actually didn't listen. I haven't heard either albums. I've been in the same week. Little Sims dropped an album, which I think is better. and anything I've heard this year. And then I also think, I don't know if you guys know West Side Gun.
I don't.
From Griselda. No. Anyway, he dropped a tape this week, and so I just been listening to those. I thought I was gonna get to the Drake and Kanye, but West Side Gun and Lil Sims have me occupied for maybe another 2 weeks, and maybe I'll get around to Kanye. The thing about Drake and Kanye songs, you will hear them eventually. It's not,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like you
Unavoidable.
gotta run and get them. So I'd rather spend my division of a penny with Lil Sims and West Side Gun.
Just before you delete all your social medias, where can we find you? Where it feels like a good opportunity to.
I'm mostly on
lids
Twitter
know.
and Twitter and Instagram. Instagram, yeah, I utilize Instagram a lot and Twitter a lot, and it's just my name, at my name, LOYISOGOLA, on both.
Lovely.
I'm thinking of getting TikTok, but then I'm like, do I though?
You're going to put your stand-up clips on it. You're not going to be doing the TikTok dances.
I would. If you ever see me do that, can you please shank me in the neck?
Fucking idiot.
I love that one.
You do, yeah? Yeah, I think it's great.
On the screen, tickets available at LoyisoGola.com, and you're just...
Oh, God. I don't mind dancing on screen, but not for shitty songs.
Yeah.
I'll dance to like a good Whitney Houston song or some shit.
I cannot wait to see you to start some TikTok trends. I
Nah,
want to dance to
no one's-
somebody.
No one's going to follow my trends. I'll just be the only one dancing to that one song.
I don't know about that, you know?
Well, we'll definitely share them. Shall we call that a pod?
I think so.
That's a pod.
I've had a lot of fun.
Thanks for coming in, man.
mate.
We really appreciate it. For those who don't know, a few things. The live show is now already on patreon.com/haveawordpod. There's been a merch restock. A lot of you wanted just the logo on the tees and hoodies. That's at haveawordpod.com. And if you go to adamrowe.co.uk/shows, there's about 20 tickets left at the time of recording for the live show we're doing in London this week, Sunday the 19th of September.
Where's the show?
It's at the Underbelly
Underbill, where's that? In
Oxford Circus this year.
I wanna
It used to
come
be on the
check it
South
out.
one. Yeah, come down, man. Absolutely.
Great to see you.
Sunday the 19th of September. There's about 20 tickets left.
We're going somewhere posh afterwards.
Yeah.
Just cheese on toast.
Weatherspoons.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll allow you.
I'll bring my nan.
Have to go with you. Have to get us in. And Dan, are you going on tour next year?
I am going on tour next year, 2022. Tickets are going phenomenally fast. Thanks to everyone who's bought tickets. Manchester, Shrewsbury, and Liverpool are doing bare numbers, mate.
I went to Shrewsbury. I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah,
It's like a bizarre place.
yeah, because you're the first black man to ever visit. That'd be a major thing.
It was the craziest thing. I was like, I felt like I was in Finland or some shit.
It's
Yeah,
an old
it's weird.
fucking town, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
a
crazy.
great
When
town.
I go to Shrewsbury, I'm an ethnic minority.
That's so mad.
Tickets at dannightingale.com. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you. Go and check out Loyiso on Netflix, all over social media.
Go to my
Before
my website's got all the shit you need to check out. My specials on my website, my Netflix special, and my tour dates. LoyisoGola.com.
There you go. That's where to go. Thanks very much for tuning in. Les Bopra.
Could you say go Ed?
Huh?
Could you say go Ed?
Go ahead.